and welcome to the third episode of Consider the Following, the most ethnically diverse podcast in the history of the NRS community. If you're interested in hearing an Asian, an Arab, a Jew, a wannabe New Yorker, and an English teacher from Arizona discuss fighting games, well, you're weird, but you've also come to the right place. Matchup numbers. Do we take them too seriously? What benefit, if any, do they offer? Is Tester's advantage a real thing, and if so, should Testers be initially banned from tournament play? What is the state of the online tournament to send the winner to KIT? Plus, we debut a new segment by the name of Bill or Thrill. All this and more as we ask you to sit back and consider the following. If you're a first-time listener, here's a quick rundown of the show's format. Each week, the panel tackles different topics related to Injustice, MKX, the tournament scene, TYM, and the NRS community in general. Points are awarded to each panelist based on the quality of his answer, or lack thereof. However, points can be deducted, and they will, for the most arbitrary of reasons as the host sees fit, rendering them quite meaningless really, which is kind of the point, no pun intended. In the end, the two panelists with the most points battle it out in a winner-take-all one-question segment. The winner will get a full, uninterrupted minute to talk about whatever he damn pleases, and go on to host the following week's episode, which I'm still unsure if that's a reward. As last week's winner, I am your host, the reigning Combat Tomb podcast TYM Poster of the Year, Cool Whip. Unfortunately, it is a title that I won't get to defend this year following the demise of the KTP, but let's be serious, I would have won that anyway, despite Riley Jackson giving me a run for my money. Just kidding, Chrome would have won that free, but I digress. I am now joined by the esteemed panel, which by now you should be quite familiar with, starting with the world's greatest detective. If the world's greatest detective actually hit chopsticks in his utility belt, HomeLee, what is up?
What's up, guys? Glad to be back for the third episode.
Yeah, well, we didn't know we'd make it that far. Up next, he is a man of very few words who was once described as being a medium-sized version of GGA 16-bit, which means that I only have a medium-sized bias to words. Fresh off his first ever major win at Naptown Clutch. In reality, it was a GBS under a different name with Sema-Eva Ryu attending. But on the East Coast, they would label that a major, so we're giving you equal treatment. How do you feel about that, Saucy Jack?
That's a little harsh towards Arcade Legacy and Korn and the STL scene that showed up, but I mean, hey, gotta call it what it is. I'm glad HomeLee is bringing all the enthusiasm he brought in week one. That's going to be on point, but super excited to hear you that you're going to be hosting today, because the last two hosts, let's be quite serious, were tyrannical when it came to the points. And
nah, that's a little harsh.
Let's get this show on the road.
Well, there's no indication that I'm going to fare any better on that regard, but we'll see. Speaking of the last two hosts, the first being, well, his footsies are so great he makes Deathstrokes down 2 look, quote, just alright. When I look in the mirror, he is the man I see, King Hippo. How are you?
How kind of you to let me come. Sorry, I'm in a My Fair Lady mood tonight. What's up, everybody?
Who's in a My Fair Lady mood
Nobody.
I mean, there's a couple times. I mean, you know, you get a little Audrey Hep in there. And, you know.
I mean, she's tight, but seriously.
I mean, did you guys know, for example, the main character of My Fair Lady is the influence of Stewie?
All right, no, I respect that.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
I should be blown up for not knowing that.
I prefer Stewie.
In fact, apologize.
I'm deducting points from myself, which is kind of pointless because
that would also deduct for me. What are you doing?
You just don't want to be host next week. That's not fair.
Well, this is not fun. This took a lot of preparation, by the way. We still haven't introduced our last member. He is our resident geography expert and the mastermind behind the KTF podcast. Are we established enough to where we can refer to our podcast by its initials, by the way? Anyway, I just did.
Yeah, well,
all right, well, we're the only podcast, so we're allowed to do whatever we want. Regardless, Lord of the Fly, how are you, dude?
I'm good. I'm really good. I've had a couple stressful days from work, but it's time. I poured myself a Fireball. You guys ever had Fireball whiskey?
Ooh, that fucking Fireball, huh?
Man, a Hadouken.
I never had it, so, you know, I'm sipping on some Fireball, some Hadouken, and ready to consider the following, man. I'm good.
All right, well, with that out of the way, then let's get straight down to business. Well, NRS games have a reputation, whether fairly or otherwise, as being matchup-heavy games. We saw this in MK9, and the trend certainly continues in Injustice. Which raises the question about character loyalty versus counterpicking. Which side do you fall under and why? In a game like Injustice, do you think it pays to have an alt to cover your bad matchups? Or grinding out bad matchups and sticking to your guns is actually the way to go? Or is there a way to go at all? Saucy Jack, you're an interesting case. I'll start with you because you kind of fall in a weird category. You're not a counterpicker per se, but you're not a character loyalist because you already changed like 5 mains. I mean, we don't count Green Arrow, by the way. That was a bill. But you started out as Doomsday, then took on Green Arrow, and now onto Superman. Maybe I'm missing a few. But you're also known as the GGA Jack of all trades, or Saucy Jack of all trade. You kind of also learn other characters to give them matchup experience. But sticking with tournament play here, what do you think is the way to go?
I personally am a big fan of character loyalty, and I will tell you why. And now I can see both sides of the argument, by the way, but for me, the way that I look at it is, let's say, like currently, I've been playing Superman for months now, right? And someone actually asked me, if there's certain players that might be going to Naptown Clutch that you may or may not have bodied free before with Doomsday. If they show up, will you again play Doomsday against them? And I said no, because my Doomsday is incredibly rusty, and I don't even know if I could do a combo in training mode. I don't even know if I could down one Earthshake. And I think that that's a problem that not everyone, but a lot of people fall into when they counterpick. If you're playing against someone who's well-versed in a matchup against someone who's great with that character, isn't it not ridiculous to think that your alt backup version of that character is going to do any better against them than someone who mains that character? So if that's the concept, if that's the thought process, there's no way that your alt is going to be as good as the main. Why not just stick to your guns, use every gimmick that in the friggin' books, and do what you can to get some wins? I would say you can take in the NRS scene someone like 16-Bit, Catwoman Specialist, and hella top 8s. Look at Street Fighter at EVO, and you got Snake Eyes with Zangief, who everyone says is a ton of bad matchups. I would say for most of the community, it's probably best to not fall into the counterpicking trap, although there are people like the Terry Brothers and Perfect Legend and stuff who are really good at it. But I think if that's a separate skill, and if you don't have it, you are much better off just sticking to your guns and playing your main.
Well, about that, Hippo, you are a character loyalist. You only use Deathstroke. Do you think this is dependent on the tier in which your character falls in? For example, Deathstroke is looked at as kind of a fairly well-rounded character, so maybe you might not need to counterpick as much as somebody who plays a complete shitter. What do you think about that?
Well, actually, it's kind of funny. I would consider myself a character loyalist now, but I actually originally played Superman, and then I went to Green Lantern. So I haven't always played Deathstroke since the game started. But I'm lucky enough in my local Capcom scene to have a lot of really talented players who've been playing for many, many years. And one piece of advice that I've always gleaned from them was if you want to make a character choice, when you make a character choice, there's 2 things that should be going in your mind, and you have to choose one or 2. One option is easier than the other. The first option, which is easier, is you pick the best character and you put in the homework to learn how to abuse that character's abusive tools as much as possible to get you the most wins. And that's successful for a lot of people. That works for a lot of people. The other option is in fact much harder, but ultimately can be just as rewarding, which is pick the character that you want to play as, but before you do that, you learn every single nuance of that game's engine so you know how to play it better than anybody, regardless of the character. So basically what they're saying is you learn how to play that character, or you learn how to play the game so well that it doesn't matter what character you pick, you can outplay anybody in that game. And while that is much harder, and there's very, very few true masters of it, I choose to go down that path instead. So I picked Deathstroke, but I picked Deathstroke only after. I didn't pick him until the October patch happened. I learned how to play the game before that. So by the time I came to play Deathstroke, I already knew how to play the game, I would say, fairly well, and was ending up doing very well with him regardless of how good he was. I think he's really good, but I think if I picked even a lesser character, I might be doing the same because I just learned how to play the game as well as I possibly could. The game outside of the characters, And to me, that can be more helpful than just picking the best character and abusing it. Now, it doesn't work the same for everybody. I think counterpicking is a completely legit option. I'm not against it, but for me, it doesn't work. But I'm not overall against it because I can see how, especially if you play, someone like Joker, who you go against an Aquaman. I mean, I'd put the controller down and give my money back. But it's logical. It makes sense. But I think some people in many games get better just by learning how to play the game and not just mastering all their characters' little tricks. My 2 cents.
Fly, what works for you? And not just that, but beyond that, what do you actually think about those who can pull off counterpicking efficiently? Do you think they'd actually be better off if somebody's so good, like say Forever King or the Terry Brothers, that they're so good that they can be very good with multiple characters? Wouldn't it stand to reason to suggest that, well, if they'd actually put more time into one character, they'd be even better? I mean, MIT, for example, he's known as a counterpicker, and yet even he recently has been saying, like, oh, no, I'm only going to play Deathstroke from now on. Now, we all know him better, and so we call bullshit on that, but the mere fact that he's thinking about it maybe suggests that being a character loyalist is the way to go. Or is it just because character loyalty is looked at as more pure, so to speak? What do you think about that?
Well, I don't think it's so linear. I mean, for me, when I switch a character or a main, some of it's due to needing a better answer for a certain matchup. Like, I played, believe it or not, Aquaman for the first 2 weeks and then dropped him because I couldn't down 2 Doomsday's Body Splash. And I went to Grundy because he had an air throw that could grab him out of it, no problem. And then my whole metagame went to shit when Brant picked up Zod. And so and Brant is Pig of the Hut, if you don't remember. He quit. He's not in the community anymore, But guys like that have that kind of skill and talent, they probably do whatever they feel like they want to do. Someone got dropped. Hold on, let me add somebody back to the call.
HomeLee, as always.
Who dropped?
HomeLee has rage quit. He said he's not considering shit.
Are you
he's
back?
Out of here.
Eric,
HomeLee.
Eric, you there?
Why do you really want to stick with this no editing policy of yours?
Oh my gosh, maybe.
I mean, this is a chance to have a good time on the air. Let's be serious here. While you're re-adding HomeLee, I do want to point out, I really do think being able to play multiple characters is an actual skill. Like, I don't think everyone can do it. You know what I mean? What the Terry brothers do, it's interesting. When you lose to something like that, your initial reaction is just to say, got counterpicked, derp. But in reality, I mean, they had to put in enough time to A, learn that character, and B, know enough about the matchup that they're beating you in to kind of put it all together. I actually think it's pretty impressive. I'm not saying that counterpicking is a bad thing at all. I just don't think it's for everybody.
Okay, my turn again. Sorry, Ken. You interrupted.
No. HomeLee interrupted by hanging up the fucking phone.
Are you there, Eric? Confirm.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right.
Jobber
Stop downloading Halo.
I'm on my phone.
HomeLee, I need to point out that you've already lost at least 5 points, especially with what you just posted in the chat. I'm not going to read that out loud, and I'm honestly didn't intend on being a tyrant, but it took you one segment to mess up. Dude, that's a blow up. I'm sorry. You just got push blocked out of this.
Man. Okay.
So what I was saying was those guys, I think they end up getting bored playing the same character over and over again. If they have the time to put into it and they get bored with the character and they want to play multiples, that's completely up to them. And when you play someone like your brother over and over again, the same matchup would get so boring. I play Pig, Zod versus Nightwing 1,000 times, and then I end up playing Scorpion and Green Arrow and random characters, and he ends up picking random characters, and it just becomes whatever. And it's to the point where I would feel pretty comfortable playing most of those characters in any matchup just because I maintain practice with them. To these guys, it's on another degree because they're a lot better than I am, and they probably play the game more than I do. So they're able to play multiple characters at a high level. And it's not a matter of playing one character more. It's a matter of, in the moment, what are the habits of my opponent? And I feel like I can counter that particular piece of their game better with a different character. And, if you're Forever King, maybe it's Flash. And, I don't consider him in the top 6 Flashes, and he's going to blow me up for this. But the fact that I don't consider him in that level, yet he can still insert Flash into a certain matchup at a tournament and use it to his advantage, says something. Now, Sinestro is a different story. You should never pick Sinestro again. But guys like that have that talent. I agree with Ken. It's a skill. But I think it has more to do with how you have fun playing the game, and then when you're in that moment, what's comfortable. And Ken, you may not think so, but in that moment, Doomsday is going to be your boy. You just have to have that feeling.
I would like to think that I can just make it happen with Superman because I've been playing him so long. Now, I guess you're right. That doesn't mean if I was up against the ropes that I wouldn't consider it, but I don't know if I have that talent, which again is weird. As Coolwhip pointed out, I am like the training dummy for a lot of the guys in Chicago. I play a bunch of characters, but that doesn't mean I play them at a tournament level, and my Doomie's pretty rusty. But maybe that's a skill, because you think I can do it. Maybe that's more of a skill that you have than I don't. I'm not sure.
No, I don't think it's a tournament level that you have to get to, though. I think you don't have to play Deathstroke at Hippo's level to have success in one certain matchup against a certain player, against a certain habit that he has at a given moment, right? I mean, I think there's a strategy to that. I don't know. That's my thought.
Well, I just needed to point out that I like how a lot of Fly's decision-making around the game revolves around Doomsday. Like, he first picked his main was Aquaman. I bet you kind of regret kind of backing out on that.
I don't, because I don't like playing the character that everybody goes to or that's considered the best. I like playing.
Oh, you're a hipster.
The mid-tier characters.
Lord of the hipster over here.
How good of friends are you and Dizzy?
I mean, I like Dizzy. I don't think, we're not like super close or nothing. But
do you guys drink Paps together? And
definitely smoke American
I wish. That'd be tight.
Fly, I'm sorry, you didn't dick ride DJ enough. He set you up perfectly for it to gain points, and now that you didn't, you're losing points. I'm sorry.
So the points are given based on how hard we dick ride GGA?
Yeah.
If you go on,
didn't you read the thread?
You fly. I just Randy Johnson you a fastball that you could have hit out of the park, and you failed. So I need an apology, actually.
But on the other hand, I know that tomorrow you're going to be on Claude's podcast, Consider the Claude. If you give that kind of answer, I'm sure you'll get a shitload of points.
Consider the stroke.
That's fine. I'll take the points as is. I'll take what I can get.
Well, speaking of somebody who hasn't taken anything this podcast, HomeLee.
He hasn't said a word and he's been dropped twice.
Yeah, you're bringing, as Fly initially, it was actually Saucy Jack who accurately predicted that you brought your episode 1A game, which is dropping out of the podcast and saying nothing and while disrupting everybody else too. Dude, I can't even set you up with a question. Why won't you just drop Batman? There, that's a question. No, I'm joking. What do you actually, No, that's a joke. This is not Batman downplaying time yet. But I'll ask you, you, like Hippo, you play a well-rounded character, who turned out to be a build, but it is a well-rounded character.
Oh my god.
If you
collusion.
Alright, hypothetically speaking, you're at a tournament and Theo is in your way, would you stick with Batman against his Aquaman?
No. Hell no. No, God, that matchup is so miserable. God damn no.
So you are a believer in counterpicking?
Yes, especially in tournament. I mean, like, I remember having this conversation with King before. It's kind of like when you're playing and, money is on the line, you do what you need to do to win. At that point, it's not even about having fun. It's like, it's dog eat dog. You're looking out for yourself.
Dude, who would you pick against Theo? Besides
I was about to ask.
This is a great question because I had a good follow-up, so I would like to know. Who would you pick?
If you say Bane, I'm going to pop you in the slanted eyes.
If my Deathstroke was on Hippo's level, I'd go Deathstroke. But
no. Realistically speaking,
I'd be going Bane. Realistically, I'd be going Bane.
No, your Bane is shite.
Man, you didn't say that when I bodied you with him.
Oh, here we go again.
You just like to make stuff up, dude.
We're 10 minutes into this podcast and already HomeLee popping off on Fly. As far as I'm concerned, from the HomeLee side of the story, Fly has never won a game against HomeLee. It sounds like.
No, he wins one. I mean, when my girlfriend's on the phone with me.
Oh Jesus!
He can make it sound like whoever he wants. It's
Oh,
he's an internet warrior. That's what HomeLee
I
is.
love you, Fly.
Shows up to tournament, chokes.
Yeah, you're right.
Damn.
So then, here's my question. At West Coast Warzone, Malarkey, a full-time Bane player, played Theo, and Theo handled him like not a problem. So if Theo can handle a full-time Bane player like Malarkey, what makes you think that your alt Bane is going to do any better?
Because I'd rather play a 5-5 than a 7-3.
But
Shut
your
your
Bane
face.
against
can't you make
That's
an
not a
argument
5-5.
that yeah, exactly. That's at the highest possible level, maybe. And matchup numbers, that's a whole other discussion. But let's say hypothetically Bane Aquaman is even, but your Bane is exponentially shittier than your Batman. Wouldn't that level it out?
But my Bane is not exponentially shittier than my Batman.
But your Bane is exponentially shittier than Theo's Aquaman, so that's not a 5-5 anymore. That's Theo. That's one of the best Injustice players. With the.
But weren't you guys
with
talking about how, player habits and stuff? I mean, I could play differently than Malarkey, whoever that guy is.
You can play differently than a guy you've never seen.
In fact, let's say, you know what, I'll be as so bold to say is that statement sounds like a bunch of malarkey.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know. If it were to happen, then I have to see. But even if if my Bane is exponentially shittier than my Batman, in my opinion, I still feel like I would have a better chance as Bane than Batman, because that
So you're
matchup is
saying
just really ass for Batman.
You're saying with Bane, at least maybe you'd get a lucky knockdown in the corner
Yes.
and you can actually get something going. Whereas with Batman, you can't get
It's
anything.
kind of
going.
like when I played Jupiter he was just raping my Batman, and I went Bane, and then I was getting some games off him at that point.
Are you trying to get props for beating Jupiter?
Yeah,
in
I
online
think
sets?
he was just
Yes.
fishing really hard for props.
Hopefully, be careful. You've already lost a lot of points, especially considering this is the first segment, so you don't want to go
it's
deeper in the
cool,
shit
it's cool.
hole.
I'm not trying to host next week's episode, so this is my plan.
All right, then plus 10 for HomeLee.
Damn.
For honesty,
Damn you.
there you go. You're in the lead
That
now.
is super messed up. I want apologies.
This
Plus
is
10 for
insane.
honesty.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
no,
you just reviewed your game plan. How
Is this
stupid
Hannah
is that?
Montana plus 10 for honesty?
Yeah.
Is this the really place logic that we're going by?
Consider the Disney Channel.
I mean, yeah, character loyalists, they bring hype, but when you're in tournament and you believe you have a higher chance of winning a certain matchup with a different character, even though if that's not the top of your game, I would say go with it.
I'm just saying right now, if I see you in tournament, please bring your Bane.
Actually, if you're using Superman, I would go Batman.
I'm just saying, I want to see your Bane. That is all.
Are you saying you'd
Let's
body?
go.
Are you saying you'd body Jack Superman with Batman? Money match at KIT?
money match?
KTF Civil War? Is that what this is?
I mean, considering that Fly can't get games on HomeLee, I'm a little concerned, but
Man.
it'll be fine.
HomeLee, are we money matching at KIT now?
Oh my god!
I'm matching Wednesday.
Yeah, can't you guys money match right now? Can't you
We
just
could.
drive over to your house?
We could.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're doing this on your phone anyway. Just keep walking as you're on, and then
Get in your yak drawn cart.
Yeah.
Get over there, and
No,
get some games
He
in,
actually
man.
has a sweet car. Not
I'll
a yak-drawn
price-
cart.
I'll rice my way over there.
Is it a sweet car he has a Civic with a big ass spoiler? Tokyo Drift
Actually,
style or
my
what?
first car was a Civic, actually.
Wow. I was
Raise
about
your
to
hand
blow up
if you were
Jack for
surprised. Nope.
Yeah, I was about to blow you up for
My-
stereotyping. You'd assume it was the Honda.
Well, I
but-
mean, dude, Hondas are awesome. They're very gas efficient. They last forever.
You sound Asian right now.
Why
You sound like a chip right
Hey,
now. Yeah.
At least I didn't buy.
is this your job? Do you?
How much is Honda paying you?
Yeah.
Is this-
I didn't. Hey, I don't drive a Honda anymore. But at least I didn't buy a Kia. Okay, that's just typical. That's just Koreans in America.
Wow. Wow. This is getting vulgar.
Isn't
dicey.
Yeah, I mean, it's way too early for that. It's still the first segment, I'll remind you. All right, well, to close this before it gets really out of hand, I just thought we'd randomly think about our NRS EVO winners. Did we have any counter pickers? I mean, you look at Mortal Kombat, PL won both tournaments with Kung Lao, period. Denzel won it with Cyrax. KDZ won it with Superman and Sonic Fox with Batgirl. There's something to be said for that. And even when Ryu dominated, I mean, granted he was playing Cabal, but it was Cabal. So I do think there's something to be said for that. If you're maining a high tier character, obviously. Otherwise.
And one other thing that's pretty interesting is DJT is known for being a pretty heavy counter picker. MK 2013, Cyrax only.
And he won
Absolutely.
That tournament. Think about it.
Well,
yep.
It's funny though. I think a lot of times MK gets a bad rep because it's like, Cabal dominated for so long. Everybody had to counterpick. Like, you fight him in tournament, you fought the match 1,000 times, and you're still searching for answers. So in tournament, when it's do or die, you're like, I know this isn't going to work. I'm going to pick somebody else. But by the end of MK's life, Cyrax had developed, and thanks probably to DJT, he didn't give it up. And I applaud him for that because, you know what? Man, I love watching that match. That's a good match.
I think DJT's EVO 2013 run, in which he had to play against pretty much every Cabal, or every relevant Cabal, is a testament to grinding out matchups, because we saw so many Cyraxes fail over and over again, and I mean, that's not a knock on them. It is a tough matchup and all, and the guys who happen to play Cabal are really good. I mean, Perfect Legend, Rio, Detroit, and these guys. But, DJT could have run to Kung Lao or something and then maybe had every teleport punished, and Rio would have been the EVO champ. Yet he stuck to that matchup, which at one point was thought to be 7-3 or whatever, and it worked out. I think that's a good endorsement for character loyalty. But I agree with you guys that in general, there's no one right way to go. I think it is a case-by-case basis. Well, moving on. As far as the point tally goes, HomeLee managed to break even after initially losing 3 points. I tried to be generous by deducting only 3 points. You blew up Fly, you channeled your inner Asian, went all racist, so you got that for effort at least. Saucy Jack and Hippo sit in the lead, tied with 3 points. Lord of Fly is tied with 2 points because of that weird doomsday logic. Honestly, I did not like that. But I'm just being flat out honest. Anyway.
You're going to blow me up, take points on my week 2 decision to change mains? Come on.
It was, dude, you were maining Aquaman.
You don't call a 1 week in practice mode a main. Come on.
All right, I'll tell you. The problem is you actually went to Nightwing, and we were all subjected to the horrors of the Nightwing forums.
Actually, I went to Grundy first. I went to Grundy, and then I went to Nightwing.
Regardless, you still went to Nightwing, and that's pretty much the essence of my argument here. We were subjected to way too many Nightwing wars for me to give you any more than 2 points on this segment.
I was screwed before this segment started, is what you're saying.
Pretty much, yes, absolutely. So, moving right along. Sticking with a fairly related topic, I would think, and one that we've always discussed to a certain extent. Well, not always. We only had 2 episodes before this one. But I think it's time to tackle this one head on. You guys ready? Matchup numbers. Nothing get anybody riled up the way matchup numbers do. At least nothing gameplay related. Somebody on TYM wondered, a mod actually wondered, do we take them too seriously? Which I think is a fair question. But to go beyond that, do we place a bigger emphasis on the number itself at the extent of actual healthy analysis? The answer is yes, by the way. But I want you guys to kind of elaborate on that. First of all, as far as the value of matchup numbers, and as far as the quality of matchup discussion, and how can they actually help improve the game or hold it back? Fly, I'll start with you.
Well, I think we have to start by defining the parameters in which matchup numbers are determined. And I think if we can get this defined and everybody to agree on it, then you get a lot of the bullshit cut out immediately. I think you have to first acknowledge that you have 2 robot computers of equal skill playing their respective characters. And when you take that and you look at 100 matches, how many is each of the character going to win? At the highest possible level. Not, well, if the Grundy can't walking corpse cancel, then I win 7-3. If I read that again, I swear to God, I'm going to throw the Grundy forums away. You guys, nobody should ever post that. If I hear another Nightwing player talk about not being able to ground spark cancel, I'm going to flip my shit. Okay? It's at the highest possible level. 2 characters at the highest level. When the matchup is discussed, you have to also acknowledge that tech changes everything. High-level players change everything. And that matchup numbers are always debatable. Nobody is right 1,000%. If we can all agree on those things, then yes, we can all agree to talk matchups. And I don't think anybody can really get butthurt or upset. It comes down to those few things. Got to get the groundwork laid first.
HomeLee, please have something concrete this time.
I believe online play first to 10 settles matchup numbers.
I mean, it's concrete. I mean, what are we going to say? It's
more concrete than that.
Well, for matchup numbers, do we take them too seriously? I definitely think so. Some people like him to make a bigger deal than it needs to be. For example, so let's say 2 players of the respective, say 2 different Hawk Girl players, they have different matchup numbers. Like, whose do you go with in that situation, in your opinion?
Neither.
Wait, what? What's
Name 2 Hawk Girl players first.
Vac Phoenix and PPJ.
Who is Vac Phoenix?
Yeah,
He's got a Hawk Girl matchup chart.
one
He
of them
said
got
Martian
top 8
Manhunter.
at Evo.
Well, I mean, it's just I
So
wouldn't.
then
I mean, I'm not debunking him based on.
No, it's
I won't debunk him based on he got top 8 at Evo versus that, but I don't. Who is that?
No, I'm just trolling. I mean, the reality is, look, PPJ, I mean, if you're asking me, okay, so in that example, if PPJ is giving you his Doomsday number or his Catwoman number, like, I'm listening because I know he's played those matchups a million times. At the same time, if PPJ is giving his, his Zatanna number, like, maybe I'm not listening as much. PPJ is my boy, but you have to be realistic. We don't have a Zatanna at GGA, so if Vac Phoenix has a ton of experience against Zatanna, like, maybe I'm listening. It's not. I think that was Fly's point. There isn't a right or wrong. Like, everyone's gonna have different opinions based on their own stuff. Why would you just blindly accept either of them?
Well, I kind of agree for the most part.
I was just answering HomeLee.
I hear you there. But HomeLee, I wanted to ask you this, actually. Speaking of matchup numbers. I promise this is not a hidden Batman downplaying question.
That is the biggest.
That's why he would ask me.
You're not supposed to lie on the internet. And you just.
I am the host, and I am obliged to be honest. I endorse honesty. I just gave him 10 points for honesty.
Which is actually a lie, because he only had 3. You're full of shit, Cool Whip.
Don't call me, dude. Don't call me out. What's that I'm saying? Oh, your numbers are dropping.
Damn
somehow.
it!
You're wrecked.
Is everybody in their best behavior? Can I continue with my point, which again is in no way a subtle, or not so subtle actually, call for Batman downplaying? But HomeLee, I wanted to ask about this. A lot of people, when they talk about matchups, or actually not just matchup, tier placement matchups, we always hear about tools, about what doesn't he have, what he has. A lot of people wouldn't ask that about characters. Now, you're a Batman player. Part of the reason why he was believed to be top 10, and this is still debatable, I'm not saying he is or isn't, but part of the reason why it is believed is because of his well-roundedness. how much do you think that actually affects matchups? Or can you be a well-rounded character and yet lose a lot of matchups? And more importantly, is a 6-4 losing, or is a 4-6 matchup for Batman easier than, say, 4-6 matchup for the Joker? Because Batman is a well-rounded character. What do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely. A 4-6 for Batman would definitely be easier than Joker. Honestly, only because of trait. Because once he has that, everyone said it a bunch of times, his footsie level changes completely. I mean, Joker doesn't really, he's in a 4-6, he doesn't really have anything to, come back at that point. Unless he gets that one lucky knockdown.
Hippo, are you gonna go first on this, or am I? Because
Oh
I
my
feel
gosh.
like the blow up is coming, and
It's
I don't
coming.
care who goes first.
This Batman downplaying. Like, it's.
I just said,
Dude, I thought he was utterly fair. If anything, it was upplaying. We're saying that a 4-6...
yeah.
He was utterly fair? Yeah, that is high.
Hold on.
I just said he has an easier time than Joker.
I mean, yeah, if anything, we're upplaying Batman
Doesn't
by
have
saying...
easier time than Joker.
He
No,
doesn't?
no, the point. He does. That's what he said. Right?
Okay, no, I said he does.
Who doesn't? Come on, man.
Jack,
No,
tell
no,
him
the
how it
point
is,
is-
man. Lay it down.
No, I think before Jack, and just let me clarify my point, which HomeLee commented on. Certain characters that are deemed well-rounded, say Wonder Woman. Fuck Batman.
Right.
We're not going to talk about him because you guys think we have hidden agendas, which we totally do, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay, wow.
See? Honesty. Anyway, Wonder Woman. She's looked at as a fairly well-rounded character, and as such, a 4-6 for her is ostensibly not a big deal. Jack, what do you think about that? And then just comment on whatever blow-up you had in mind. Just
Okay, well, first of all, a 6-4 is a 6-4. Get the fuck out of here. I
Thank
don't want to
you.
hear anything else. It is what it is. That's, first and foremost, you two are dumb. You should go post on
Wait,
TYM
what?
about your
so
internet
you're saying that
sets.
every 6-4 is equal? That's what you're saying?
I mean, are you winning in the actual matchup number world? Both characters are winning 4 games out of 10. So yeah, that's exactly the same. Anyways, outside of your ridiculousness, matchup numbers are cancerous because the problem is, in theory, they're great. It gives you a nice wrapped up in a bow feeling about what's going on in a matchup, and you can get some, you can finalize it like a certain online Selena Warrior player, and you're a Selena Kyle Warrior online jobber, and you're good to go. But
I heard he was phenomenal.
yeah, that's what I've heard since day one, actually. But the reality is that's not how matchup numbers end up getting used. How they end up getting used is a fucking dick measuring contest. Because if someone's winning a, quote, 4-6, then they get to say, bro, I'm winning a fucking disadvantaged matchup, I'm the shit, let me pop my fucking collar. Or if you're losing a supposedly advantaged matchup, then you have to go bury your head in the sand because everyone's ready to say, oh, he lost the fucking 6-4, what a scrub. It's dumb. And it destroys matchup discussion. When someone goes on to Test Your Might or fucking
What?
SRK or Event Hubs or anything, right? And they open something up and they want to learn about their character, and they
Hey,
Just
Jack,
see-
we're starting to lose
Jack,
you, buddy.
You're lagging out, bro.
His rage is causing him to
character
laugh.
1, 6-4, character 2, that's it. It's done.
You didn't even
You need
hear
to
Your
us.
face
repeat
is lagging
everything
out.
you
Am I
just
back?
said. You need to
Jack,
repeat
Jack,
everything
hold
you
on.
just said.
Oh, yeah. At least the last, say, 4
But,
sentences you made
Hold
were
on.
kind of...
Before you could recontinue what you said, I will agree matchup numbers are cancerous in the community because people just like to argue about it. But honestly, I only see it coming from Nightwing forums and Catwoman forums. That's it.
Damn.
If you
Damn,
look at,
That's
if
not
you,
true, by the
if
way.
you-
That's not true.
I guess I need to explore more often. But if you look at Forever King's Batman matchup, nobody argued with him. Nobody. Maybe Ducky and OG Manuel came and says something about Raven once, but no one argued with him. There was nothing. No one said anything negative about that matchup chart at all.
But
Okay,
that's a rare
first
case
of all,
a-
that was hidden Batman downplaying. It wasn't hidden very well because
What?
we know that King downplays, and you were just trying to say that everyone agrees with King. I see right through you. Second of all, the conclusion of my point was if you just see character A beats character B 6-4, then it's done and there's nothing to learn. However, if you open it up and it says character A and character B, and then there's a fucking essay about different things that can happen in the matchup, That's good, and that's what we should be focusing on. I don't give a shit about the fucking numbers. A matchup is a matchup, win, lose, or draw, and there's just fine points that go into the matchup, and I don't care about the numbers. That's just a way for fucking keyboard warriors to feel good about themselves. Hippo, agree or disagree?
Well, I'm actually going to disagree that the numbers are cancerous.
You're cancerous!
Oh, man.
Damn.
I mean, there's no need for language. I mean, it's a family show.
Goddamn GGA dick riders.
Anyways, I don't think they're cancerous in and of themselves. What the problem is that, and this is really just kind of fantasy speak, there's no way to make everyone, I can't just say everyone be better because then I sound like, some kind of, pig. But everyone talks when they talk.
Whoa. Why are you blowing up the dude? He left.
Who?
Pig.
I'm not talking about Brant McCaskill. I'm saying a pig, as in a literal.
No, we get that. Yeah, no, we got it.
Oh, literal Hippo strikes again. Anyways, so what I'm saying is that I think the problem ends up being a lot of people, when they talk matchups, they're not talking them very deep. For example, if you guys remember the old horror days of Chaotic and Ribs going into every thread and going, well, Killer Frost slide wins footsies. Her down two is really good. She has a parry. 6-4 Frost. That used to be about, 33% of her matchup chart was literally dictated by those three sentences.
You're so right. That's
right. I'm not. In fact, Ribs to this day goes into topics and is like, "LOL at this Killer Frost matchup talk. That's all I gotta say." He's like Jesse Ventura. Well, if you think that's what you say, then that's okay. I'll just go. I'm not a nut. Like, all right, Ribs, we got it. Ribs Ventura. The problem is that people are talking matchups and they're not doing it very deeply. It's literally just these very vague, basic talking points. Like, for example, when Raw Helios is talking about Bane, he's like, well, I have jump back 2, and that beats grab. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo. That doesn't make it 5-5. So I think the problem is people just aren't really good at arguing. They're not good at arguing, period. They need to take a communications class or something because they don't know how to say why their character wins. And if they don't, they just make something up. Or some arbitrary reason like Slide wins the footsies 4 and she has an anti-air, 6-4 Frost. That is like bottom of the barrel matchup talk. And that's unfortunately what a lot of character forums have. I think if we got more, like for example, my own character, I have to hear, well, low gunshots are punishable. He's got 50-50s. 7-3 flash.
Dude, the low slide, post slide guessing game is all in her favor.
Right. But that's how all the forums are, and that's the dude. Catwoman can back 3 after she blocks a breath, and if Superman does another forward 2, he gets blown up 6-4 Catwoman. Like that, and that's the problem. That's why I'm saying they're cancerous. In theory, they are not. But in use, they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can get a solid number. I'm just saying it has to be months of talk, and the talk has to be good. For example, when people say, like, for example, in the Flash talk between Deathstroke and Flash, a thing I hear all the time is, Flash's up close game. It's just so much better. Oh my God, Flash, Barry, like, and then because they're saying that because he has a 7-frame low and a 16, 17 frame overhead, and I'm like, God, that's right. It's like Deathstroke doesn't have a 7-frame low, and he doesn't have like a 15-frame overhead. God, if he had that, wouldn't he be better? And he does. So when they say his up close game is better, I don't know why they say that because it's like, well, on paper, Flash does more damage, but his up close game is better. You mean that he has a 7-frame low and a fast overhead? Well, so do I. Like, that doesn't mean Flash is better. He just gets more damage. So that talking point is really just crumbles under logic, like you just saw. So I think people just need to be a little smarter about it. They don't need to lose an online set and immediately run to forums and write 3 or 4 sentences and call it a day. I think they need to think about them a lot and maybe come back to it, after 4 or 5 months. I don't think it's something that can be ironed out in a couple sets.
Well, the next question then becomes, what is the validity of the online players doing sets to 5 or 10 and then saying they know a matchup? I beat,
There's no validity at all.
Well, let's say, Pig and Theo were to play an online set, Zod versus Aquaman. 2 reputable offline players playing in an online situation. Could they come up with an agreeable matchup chart based on those sets?
If Pig is involved, and I love Pig, God no, because Pig, if he loses, he's on TYM raging about that matchup.
Replace Pig with Jupiter, an offline player that does well, that also plays a lot online. And would you say that those two could come up with real numbers, or is
they could? They could.
one set?
If they played on Revolver's connection, then yes.
They could come up with a reasonable matchup number. The thing is, what are they actually coming up with? For example, I've recently heard Wound Cowboy talk about, the Martian Manhunter matchup, and he was like, I just said teleport crosses up, and I don't know why. And it's off the 1-1-2 string, which is as far as I thought, commonly known overhead teleport setup. But it wasn't like he went in and found that out and learned how to counter it. It was just, he just crosses me up and I have no idea what to do. I have no options. Stupid. Like, that's not how it should work. So you can, yes, I think online is in fact, a really valid way to come up with a decent understanding of the matchup, but the players have to do the work. It's very important that they put in the work in training mode, in practice, after a long period of time and discuss it, and it shouldn't be after 2 or 3 quick sets.
Further, I don't want to break anybody's heart, but even when you take the 2 best players in the world, you can't and set them down next to each other and let them play, and they play a 1st to 10, and you go, well, one of them won 6. It's a 6-4 again. Just really doesn't work that way. It's just like, flipping a coin is a 50-50 chance, but sometimes you get heads 4 times in a row. Like, someone could have made better reads, someone could have had better guesses that day. It's just the whole matchup number thing. Again, I'm with you guys that are saying that there's good to them. It's just the problem is in practice, in the way that we actually see them used, it's just a dick measuring contest, and there isn't actually anything, in my opinion, anything useful that comes out of most of it.
We all fall victim, right? I watch Tyrant play, and I think back to all those Grundy matchup charts I made, and I'm like, wow, I was a dumbass. All the time. Players like Tyrant just make you rethink the game. They do things that you're too close to see that you were doing wrong when you actually look at it from an elevated play perspective.
I actually want to give a special shout out to 2 people who are contributing with something positive as far as matchup is concerned. Now, granted, this is a special case. They're brothers. They live together, so it's not like everybody can do that. But
That's
Honeybee
racist.
and Biohazard. No, what's that? How's that racist?
You called them brothers, dude. You can't say that.
Honeybee and Biohazard, they are genetically brothers.
Dude, you're racist.
Jack,
Actually, HomeLee, they're triplets.
You're being awfully close to negative points again.
They're triplets with HomeLee. Aren't they there next to you, Eric?
Actually, no. I think Biohazard is half Asian.
All right, HomeLee, remember last episode you were actually able to go through the full episode without bringing that up? Yeah. now you have the Honda reference, and now this. Dude, you're not doing yourself any favors. That's all I'm saying. But no, honestly, they posted these long offline sets that they played, and it's not just that. They actually, I think it was, Honeybee posted like a long, I wouldn't call it an essay, but a fairly detailed breakdown of the Flash Bane matchup and what he would do. And I think initially that was advice he gave to Jim through observing his sets with Max at the Ghost Battle series, which, as we all know, is the best local scene.
Oh my god!
We have to bring that up. Everybody, group dick riding quickly.
You're not helping. You're not helping it. You're making it worse.
I don't want to be part of any gangbangs.
Leave
I'm sorry.
me out.
That's the rules, dude. It's GGA. Every time we bring them up, you have to.
Dude, Jack, what is going on over there? This sounds worse than Caligula.
Don't worry about it, man. Just don't worry about it.
All right. Well,
It'll be over quick.
Yeah, just let it happen.
Saucy Jack.
Dude, the more you fight it, the worse it gets. Anyway.
So that's how you get your name, Cool Whip. I get it.
Zing.
Yeah, so, after that comment, the bright news for you, HomeLee, is you're no longer in last place because Fly just, went further. But anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to give a special shout out to those guys, especially in light of many top players being fed up with TYM and saying they don't want to discuss matchups on TYM, which is honestly, I don't think is healthy, by the way. But at the same time, it's quite understandable, especially with all the bullshit they have to go through. I still think, taking discussions off TYM is not the way to go because things are only going to get worse because then only scrubs are going to have a field day with false information. But I digress. That's another topic, I guess. All right. So moving on, as far as points are concerned, honestly, Hippo, you aced this. Your rant was phenomenal. You brought up ribs, you brought up Cowboy, whom we all love, but, I think that was really...
I brought up the body.
Yep, absolutely, with an awesome impression. I have to say, you aced it with that segment, so 4 points for you.
Man, we're really going on the dick riding theme, aren't we?
He's not GGA. I'm only dick riding myself in this case, which isn't easy. That's all I'm saying. Anyway.
Well, I mean, I could be GGA. I could be a giant gullet and ass.
Oh my god.
Damn. Dude, this Blind Ducky wishes he was on this podcast right now.
He certainly does.
Oh my.
Jack, you got 3 points. Same goes for Lord of Fly. HomeLee, 2 points, which is an improvement over your previous 0 in the previous segment. So,
HomeLee, you need to fucking step it up, or you're getting replaced by I Choke on Kush next show.
Oh god! All right, let me sit up. I'm sorry, I woke up at 6:30.
Oh man, that's amazing.
Yeah, dude, that's not an excuse.
Did you just option select your podcast performance?
Wait, and also, did he just option select to the guy who literally woke up when he heard?
Exactly.
God,
dude, that's racist. We don't have cocks over here. We don't have roosters. What do you mean? Do you think that's... We have alarms. That's hella racist.
Well.
Yeah. Our alarms are usually gunshots, but no, that's not actually true. By the way, that's totally not true.
This is getting bad.
Anyway, this is a segment I kind of came up with while I wasn't totally sober. It is called... I fully take responsibility for the horrible name, by the way. It is called Bill or Thrill. The truth is, I couldn't come up... The truth of the matter is,
it rhymes.
I couldn't come up with a word that rhymes with Bill that's supposed to have positive connotation, so I just came up with Thrill. And I was quite drunk when I came up with that, so anyway, if you guys have a better suggestion...
Wait. I have a question. Actually, Bill or Thrill is fine. I think it's tight. But what do you guys throw down on in Lebanon? Like, if Mike's drinking Fireball, what are you sipping on over there?
For the most part, me personally, I'm a vodka guy. So,
all right.
Yeah, that's what I'm usually sipping on. But hey, I don't discriminate. Booze is booze. Anyway, Bill or Thrill. All right, so this segment is supposed to touch on a specific character.
Fireball's a Bill. Sorry.
Yeah, Fireball is a huge Bill. I didn't want to tell you that. I didn't want to tell you that because you had just started it. I wanted to support you, but Fireball is a huge Bill and kind of a chick drink.
I've never had it. Never had it.
Can I pull the race card? Actually, a lot of Asians like Fireball.
Like I said, chick drink. Exactly. my point is...
That's why they like it. Sorry, Whip. You continue, sir.
Can we go on with this segment?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be a weekly thing, but it's going to be it's going to make semi-regular appearances.
I thought the rule was to just spout off random things we thought were bills.
No. We're not the KTP. I'm not K7. No, this is actual concrete discussion.
HomeLee. Oh, sorry.
What? Bill or Thrill? Are you guys gonna let me do my thing, please?
Yes. Sorry.
Bill or Thrill? Green Lantern. Essentially, what do you think about the character? And I'll start with... Actually, HomeLee said if we were going to talk about this character, he'd have a 30-minute rant. So, HomeLee, you go right ahead.
Get the points, bro.
Fuck this character so much. Oh my god. You are not annoyed at Green Lantern until you played Xeno.
You mean the guy I eliminated from UFGT?
Yeah. You don't play him enough. You need to play him more.
You're not going to get props for that, Jack. Come on.
I'm not looking for props. My point is, he was like, yo, you haven't played him until, and I'm like, I mean, I did play him.
I say you're not annoyed at the character.
Oh, I misunderstood. I apologize. I misunderstood.
You should take points away from him.
I can't tell if you're complimenting him or if you're blowing him up.
Both. Okay, alright. Seriously, anyone that complains about Green Lantern, you are an idiot. I don't give a fuck who you are. You're stupid. Your character's got two great footsie tools. Freaking your lift reaches 3/4 the goddamn screen. Your back one reaches half the screen. It's a low. What else? Oh my god. You complain about mobility. Stop fucking dashing so much. If you dash constantly, you deserve to get blown up. His walk speed is godlike. God, Wake Up Lift even has invincibility. Remember when Fred Marble used to say Lift is like worse than like other good wake ups?
Actually, let me stop you right there. It is not fully invincible, but it's super hard to stuff. It is not fully invincible.
No one is stuffing that consistently.
No one.
Yeah,
If
I know.
they
I
are,
agree.
they're lying.
The only one stuffing it is probably Bane. That's because he's got armor.
Grundy
You can
has
take the
armor.
risk. Once you get hit by Wake Up Lift, you're guessing on the Oki game. Unless you have a great Wake Up.
No, I'm with you. I'm just pointing out because we don't want anybody to correct us on inaccuracy.
He's got pretty decent zoning. I mean, he's like above a well-rounded character in my opinion.
So you're calling him a thrill.
He's a thrill.
Yes, he's a super thrill. And honestly, anyone can play on him. You're an idiot.
Are you saying you want a little bit of
Ah,
some Al action?
Fuck Green Lantern. I hate that character so goddamn much. Oh my god. God, I hate freaking when Waffles came down to pre-final round, he was hitting me with lift 3/4 of screen. I was like, fuck your character, dude. Oh my god. Oh my god. Honestly, I don't see why people would throw out Wake Up Lift more often, to be honest. If you're not an idiot with it, of course, up close, then, shit.
What is the Lantern Batman matchup?
6'4" Lantern.
I agree. But hey, what do you say to those who say, oh, just backdash out of his back 1-3 string?
I honestly cannot land that consistently. I think Jack said he could, but
Just
I've
parry.
tried.
Can't you just parry?
Yeah, but then, if I keep doing parry, he's just going to do down one, O's rocket, meter burn. I'm about to eat 40% into another Oki mix-up.
Chicken.
So,
Okay.
wow.
Okay.
So, in your opinion, he is a thrill.
He is a super thrill. Oh my god. Freaking, they nerf forward 2. Why didn't they nerf back 1?
What's forward 2?
I think you're going over.
Superman's forward 2, my bad.
Oh, okay.
All right, no, I got that.
Oh my, fuck that character.
Hippo, Bill or Thrill?
Well, I kind of have an interesting perspective because I did used to main Green Lantern up until the October patch, so I liked him a lot. Like, I really feel I admit, back when I played him, I used to describe him as the Ryu of Injustice, and I actually feel that's true because in the context of the engine of the game, he does everything pretty solid. So in Injustice, walking back is really strong, as is jumping back, and he has good answers with missiles and lift in general as a way to stop jumping back and jumping out of the range of the other characters. And also, he is strong at that because his walk back speed is pretty good, and he has a move that goes really fast to where when you're walking or trying to walk back out of his range, you can't get out of the way of it. So he's really good at that aspect. He has a good anti-air. He's got good jump attacks. He has really, really good Okazemi game. And he has one of the best self-serving knockdowns I've ever seen. But I think ultimately that he does have flaws. I actually don't think that – the back one, it's still a guess for him, which that's not great because his other strings aren't that good. And I think his damage isn't super high unless he lands, the big jump 3 or something like that. So that kind of sucks. And I think overall, because he is very slow as far as, movement speed and dashes and just moves in general. Like, his only really fast move is, lift and back 1. Other than that, he's really struggling to kind of get moves out against these characters that can just put out a bunch of crap at mid-screen. So I think he's got flaws. I think it's weird, though. I think at the beginning, he was a build because everyone said he was top 5, top 3 or whatever. And that just wasn't the case at any point in the game, I don't think. But then I think people are a little too down on him. And he might be a secret thrill. Because I think Gross is the only player I've played where he seems to maximize really when I get a hit, I get to do almost any setup I want, and I can make any wake-up whiff and all that other stuff because it's true. He has some of the best knockdowns in the game. Whereas a lot are still focused on playing the back 1 game and just kind of trying to do lift. And it's not really – it's not smart lifting either. It's just lifting for the sake of lifting. So it's I don't think he's really that bad of a character. He's probably just a secret thrill. He's not he's right in the middle, in my opinion. He's not too good, but he's not too bad either. So I think a lot, and the Green Lantern players ultimately are a bunch of down players. So ultimately, they need to shut up and start playing a little solid. Like, I don't want to hear THTB regulating the GL forums anymore.
The huggable
absolutely ridiculous. Because I don't even think he plays the game, and he's still talking about minigun and his mobility and at the highest possible level. I don't care. He hasn't done. And it's not that he hasn't done anything that's the problem. It's that I don't think he plays the game. And he
actually openly admits that he doesn't. So.
Yeah, so why are you regulating?
Yeah, so why are you posting?
Like, come on, man. Like, that's the only thing. Like, it's not about... That's one of the things, too, when we talk about the matchups thing. It's not that, oh, he's not good enough to talk to matchups. There are some Green Lantern players that I've seen that talk very reasonably about him. Xeno's one of them. I'm trying to think. Mid-tier Harley's not one of them.
No.
But, you know, there are a few in there that do talk. They're real. Corn JDM, when he talks about him, is pretty good. It's that... And they don't have huge results, but they put up what?
Why'd you leave out Gross?
Well, Gross doesn't post that often. He just wins.
Nah, it's a joke, but it's a reference to him.
They are Gross. Yeah, I love
there
Gross.
You go.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No. You don't leave out Gross. I'm the master. Yeah, I love Gross. I actually lost to him at Evo, and I have no shame in that. He was playing very well that day. But
he's good.
When guys like THTB are in the forums regulating, and they're like, I don't even play this game. Oh my goodness! Like, it's I don't care about your
what the heck is that?
I don't care about your input. Then
THTB stand for again?
The huggable Tay Bear.
Yeah.
That to me is like, and I don't mean to digress, but that is a big problem too. So it's guys that aren't playing the game are dictating how the character should be, and I just think that's wrong. My opinion. I think Green Lantern's secret thrill.
He's
Saucy Jack, you have some Green Lantern experience if you count Waffles. And I'm only saying that because he's not at GGA often. I don't mean to blow him up the way you guys do. I'm just saying he's not always at GGA. At least not as often as you guys are. But I think it's fair to say you do have some Green Lantern experience. What do you think? Bill or Thrill?
First of all, when we blow up Waffles, it's for funsies. And if anyone outside of the GGA family blows up Waffles, we're fighting. Y'all can get the fuck out of here. Waffles is awesome. But anyways.
I think everybody understands that, by the way.
It's fine. You guys are all in the GGA family, as pointed out. So...
Does that make this what we're doing incest? Because dick riding in the family is kind of...
Don't worry about that.
That's fucked up.
We don't ask questions here. Just let it happen. Close your eyes. Don't think about it too much.
I have a question about that. Do I have to close my eyes?
Okay, keep them open. Just really don't try to think about it, though. That's when it gets uncomfortable. I hate to not have a super controversial opinion, but I'm in Hippo's camp. I think he was upplayed initially, and I will admit that I was a part of that. I did not quite understand the character at the beginning of the game, and I thought he was better than he actually ended up probably being. I do think right now that the community as a whole thinks, I mean, it seems like you talk to some people and they just say he's complete fucking fecal remnant, and that's not true. He's not incompetent. Like, the character's fine. Footsie game strong. Zoning game acceptable. Oki game broke. Like, he's got some shit going for him, but he does have his weaknesses. As far as what HomeLee was saying about the backdashing back 1-3 and back 1-2 thing and stuff like that, I think it's very, very, very doable. I mean, I don't know, whenever Tommy's there.
Anyone doing it,
Have you never watched me at GBS? Like, I do it to Tommy constantly. Poor Waffles can never back one me. It's fucking broke. Superman gets like 40% and he doesn't back one. But it's, I mean, maybe he's predictable with it. Who knows? Maybe I'm selling out crouching. But anyways, the point is, it's doable. It's very likely that in the end, Lantern is, just fine. Which I guess in the current meta would make him a thrill, because if you asked around, it seems like a lot of people think he's like fucking bottom 5. So I guess he's a thrill in that aspect, but he's a Bill compared to what he may have initially been thought. But he's got some stuff that really takes advantage of the Injustice mechanics, which is what will keep him relevant for as long as the game is being played. Back 1, being a 9-frame low with good range in a game with movement like Injustice is very dominating against some characters. The post-blocked minigun game, for a lot of characters, is pretty tough, because he can do an instant jump 1, and Lantern's jump 1 is hella active. He can do a back 1, which if you tried to forward dash after blocking a minigun, you eat, or he can just lift, because some characters at the range that a minigun will push you actually can't punish lift, so they can kind of just throw it out. So he has a lot of tools to take advantage of the mechanics of Injustice, and in that aspect, he's a definite thrill, but, I mean, he does have his problems, so I don't know. He's not broke.
What would you say is the biggest problem? If you just had to pinpoint one, is it something matchup specific, or is it a tool he lacks?
No. The biggest problem is that in certain matchups, back 1 is a death sentence. Against Bane, he can't do it. Like,
right.
There is no option against it. Bane. I have some really real rap. I don't want to break any hearts here, and I don't want to make people salty. Bane probably shits on Green Lantern. That is probably 7-3. Not LOL minigun breaks armor. I actually don't know what Green Lantern is supposed to do. You can walk back and jump back Booger as much as you want. Bane's getting in, and once he's in, Green Lantern can't hit a button. So I don't actually know what he's supposed to do. But I digress. The point is, in certain matchups, he does have some glaring issues. But overall, in Injustice, when you have something that dominates footsie range, or at least can compete with most characters, when you have a mostly invincible wake-up, one that I would put forth is impossible to stuff consistently, unlike, Aquaman or Catwoman, who you can stuff consistently. And when you have his Oki game against, again, most of the cast, he'll always be relevant, he'll always be good, and he'll always be a problem to fight. So I'm going to say, given the current climate, he's technically a thrill.
Actually, just a quick point about the wake-up thing. Not only is it impossible to stuff consistently, I think if you get it more than 1 times out of, 8, you're good. I don't think you can do it more than 1 time out of 8. That thing is nearly impossible to stop, which, in my opinion, makes Lift one of the best wake-ups in the game. I mean, I might be blown up for saying that, but, dude, it's a combo. I mean, what more do you possibly want? That always, even back in the pre-patch days, a lot of people used to downplay that wake-up move. I don't get it. It forces you to respect it most of the time. Yeah, it's punishable, but I mean, that's just the risk.
I think that's totally character specific.
What's totally character specific?
That wake-up being considered good? Why?
Whoa, dude, careful. I'll blow you up.
Well, the thing is, it's, okay. Yeah, I'm coming at it from the perspective of my character. So Nightwing kind of bodies Green Lantern on knockdown. Flip kick, changes pace on all of his wake-ups. Everything switches sides. So I can also just staff spin, knockdown, and jump over, and it reverses all your wake-ups. Because your wake-ups don't move you, you're standing in one place, all your good wake-ups anyways. You could do Turbine, or I could just block and punish. I mean, everything that I do, jump over, flip kick, is so easy to stuff and reverse all your wake-up inputs. It's too easy for Nightwing to do that.
Right, but the point is, what you can't do is just stand in front of him and mash buttons like you can against Catwoman. You have to do something different, which means the onus is just on the Green Lantern player to find the counterplay.
What's he gonna do?
His wake-up has done. I mean, I haven't taken him in the lab, so I have no idea.
Dude, at a certain distance, Fly, you can't even zone him on knockdown. If you try to do ground pound, you're gonna get hit by wake-up.
No, after a staff spin, I dash in, staff spin, change stance, dash once, jump over, reverses 100% of his wake-ups.
But that's literally your character.
I know.
The
point of the wake-up attack is you had to do something different.
Yeah, And it's not just something different, it's something not ideal. As in, if he doesn't do this wake-up move, whatever it is that you just did on this read is probably not what you would have done. So, making it not ideal. You know what I'm saying? If you do something that's supposed to be a counter for this wake-up, and he doesn't wake up,
well,
sure, you might not pay the price.
It's like that way It's like that way for every wake up. The point that I can jump over and make him
that's
change
what makes
what
a
he's
wake
doing.
up good, then.
No, that's the
it's
constant.
Not that way for every wake up.
That's the constant meta.
Shit on.
That's what makes that wake up no better than any other wake up. Yeah, it makes me do something different, but what I do different is going to make him do something different. It's the same thing.
But
I'm not saying.
I would argue you don't.
Okay.
Man.
I
would argue you don't want. I would argue you don't want him to cross up because that's easier to see than doing that. You as Nightwing, I would think you'd want to do the 50-50 of standing 2 and blast.
Yeah.
And doing the wake up, and you just do a cross up. I mean, it's not.
I could just do flip kick. I still get a combo, and it still reverses his wake ups.
I'm pretty sure you don't have enough time to dash up and then do flip kick.
But also, I don't think you'd want to do. You'd want to do the less obvious one. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, it doesn't change anything.
And also, like, the 1 second you mistime your flip kick, you're going to get hit by wake up lift.
I know when to do the flip kick and when not to. It all depends on the gravity of the knockdown. All I'm saying is at the end of the day, my character, and I'm sure a lot of other characters, when explored properly, have options that make those wake-ups ineffective, just like any other wake-up in the game. It doesn't make it any better or worse.
Right, so hold on.
That's basically saying it's ineffective.
But this would mean that you're saying every wake-up is equal.
Yeah, no, that's why this is a blow-up. Fly, the best wake-up in the game is Killer Frost Slide, and it gets beat by jump back. However, by jumping back, you've now changed what your plan is. Just because there's a counterplay to the wake-up doesn't mean it's an ineffective or bad wake-up.
Yeah.
If there was no counterplay, Lancer would be fucking broke. The point is, of course, there's counters. But
okay, I'm referencing the simple point that Whip said that this is the best wake-up in the game, and it might be a blow-up.
Hold on. I didn't say the best. I said I would say it's one of the. It's up there. I definitely didn't say it's the best.
Tomato.
How the fuck, dude? No, it's not.
No, that's tomato grape. What are you talking about,
dude?
That's like saying, Bane is one of the best characters in the game, and you would go like, oh, dude, you're saying he's better than Aquaman. No, I'm not. I'm saying he's one of the better characters in the game.
I agree that he's a thrill, by the way, to get back on topic. I agree that he's a thrill. I think most Green Lantern players are Bills, but I think the character is a thrill. The only Green Lantern I've ever played that has shown me that is Orochi at Final Round, when I had played Waffles and Gross, and neither of them beat me the way Orochi did. In fact, I think I beat Waffles in Casuals, and in Gross, he might have won 7-5.
report your scores.
Yeah, report your scores.
It's the only reference I have against really good,
No, I know, I'm just joking.
Green Lantern players. But Orochi in tournament just straight bodied me.
That guy is really good.
Not even
I
close.
Wish he'd come back.
And when I look at two, and I would say they're both solid players, and I look at someone like Orochi, I feel like there's just a big gap, just a huge skill gap, to reference the past. A skill gap there, and I think a lot of Green Lantern players need to step up their game. But I think Green Lantern's a thrill.
All right, so most of us agree that he's either a secret thrill or a thrill. All right, we need to wrap up this segment. I think that Green Lantern discussion took way longer than anticipated.
Not my fault. Fly doesn't understand wake-up attacks.
Bro,
yeah, and
Lift is not the best wake-up in the game. That's all I'm saying.
Marvel? Are you Fred Marvel, Fly?
Oh, Fly exposed.
I think you guys are playing Fred Marvel here. All I'm saying is it's not the best wake-up in the game. And it's
nobody said it is, though. That's the problem. So you're arguing.
Killer Frost Slide is, right, I agree.
Yeah. So nobody said it is the best wake-up in the game. Anyway, after this segment, Fly gets a very generous 1 point, and that's only because he wasted vocal cords.
wow.
Hippo and Jack both get 3 points for rather salient points. I'm tempted to give Jack more for actually understanding the benefits of wake-up and what happens if a character doesn't wake up and how, you forcing to respect it matters. But HomeLee gets 4 points mainly because, he was animated. That's as animated as I've ever seen him. Honestly. So,
I'm telling you, I fucking hate Green Lantern. Oh my god, fuck that character.
Alright, dude, don't overkill. You got your 4 points. Chill down. Anyway, moving right on. Changing pace here.
Hit him with the bruh button, bruh button. 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 Hit him with the bruh button, bruh button.
phenomenon, if you will, has hit TYM. As if we're not responsible for enough politically corrupt humor, mainly pertaining to race, but never on this podcast, of course. A battle of the sexes has been taking the site by storm. Get the pun? Anyway, I'm talking, of course...
Oh my goodness.
Apologize.
I honestly, I think I had already prepared my apology before making this joke, so I do apologize. We'll just edit that out of the thread, you know? This seems to be happening a lot.
We're going to timestamp that.
I'm not editing anything. Actually, I am timestamping now. I'm like taking notes as you talk.
All right. Bravo, Fly. I mean, we're only improving with each show. I'm talking, of course, about the Brotherhood Male Domination Pledge Camp versus Sisterhood Girl Power Camp. Now, frankly, this doesn't seem like a fair fight, but Blind Ducky, surprise, he's actually been, I think, the pioneer, if that's the word, for this whole thing. I think that's how it originated. He created that Sisterhood thread, referring to himself on GTA 16-bit as Queens. Now, I kind of find that creepy, at least as far as Bit is concerned. I always imagined Ducky as a queen. Kind of suits him. Claiming that he had a sex change after maining Kenshi in MK9, and now he has, and I quote, a mutilated vagina. Yep. What do you guys think about that? I mean, what do you guys think? It actually, the Slips decided to combat that by creating the Brotherhood Male Domination Pledge, which I personally think, I don't want to influence anybody's opinion here, but I personally think is a brilliant, brilliant thread. And he did a phenomenal job recruiting a lot of people, most of whom being sexist pigs and busy. And it escalated fairly quickly with YouTube videos of guys uppercutting girls. Thankfully, I must give props. We blew up the moderators a lot, but I must give props that they actually understood that this is just all in fun, it's tongue-in-cheek, and nobody's actually promoting domestic violence, which hopefully that remains the case. But it escalated fairly quickly. HomeLee, you sound like you're not actually aware of what's going on, so you'll go first. What do you think about all this?
Like you said, I'm actually not aware.
I went
into the thread once. Give it to someone else.
You know, if you spent more time in that thread as opposed to PL's stream, maybe your point tally wouldn't be nearly as shitty.
You're right. I have nothing to say on this topic. I apologize.
Oh my god!
Honestly, all right, guys. You know what? This is a first for this podcast. We're gonna take a vote. Does HomeLee get a 0 or negative points for this? By willingly saying no, you know what? I'm not gonna comment on this. What do you guys think?
Negative.
Gotta be negative. I mean, this is pure insubordination. Whip and regulate.
All right, negative it is. Hey, the majority has spoken the same way, you know, the revolution majority spoke. And we saw how that went.
My fist is in the air combating HomeLee.
I'm sorry. I need to go on TYM more often.
Look,
I'm sorry.
I gotta say, I think this entire thing is awesome. And here's why. I haven't picked a side, much to 16-bit's chagrin. But he asks me every day, what side? I'm not picking one. I'm the Swiss. I'm the neutral party. But I think it's awesome, and here's why. In this climate of nonsense on TYM, these threads are really funny, and shout-outs to Cool Whip for mentioning this, and shout-outs to the TYM mods. Like, they've been allowed to just go, and that's awesome, because we've seen so much in the past that funny joke threads get pooped on and shit out to the netherrealm, and no one gets to have a good time. I think they're golden. I think they're really funny. Yeah, the original idea was great. Slips' rebuttal was awesome. The cyborg domination thread was garbage. I'm sorry, whoever made that. That was
overkill.
That one didn't
I was
cut
not
the
aware
mustard.
of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's because that thread, that didn't cut the mustard. But the girl power versus boy power thing, it's awesome. Props to everyone involved. I think it's
Jack, I'll stop you right there. Was the mustard pun on purpose? Because that would be brilliant.
I'm a pretty clever guy.
But it wasn't, by the way. So you just answered my question. Go right ahead.
Yeah.
Continue.
No, I was done. That was it. My point was
okay.
it. And it was on purpose, you fucking jagaloon.
Yes. That you might apologize for Jagaloon.
No.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Hippo, have you been keeping up with these threads?
Yeah, I think they're hilarious. I think Blind Ducky is one of the weirdest little goobers you'll ever meet, but it's all genuine. I mean, he loves Raven, and if you've ever met 60-Bit, I mean, everyone knows I mean, for God's sake, he was prancing around as Catwoman at GGA. The love is real. And ultimately, that's why I have to side with them, because it's so blatantly honest. Slips loves Scorpion and Deathstroke, but he's not going to. Brad Vitale is not going to dress.
Slips is generally sexist, though. I think if you've heard an episode of the KTP,
he might be. He might be, but I'm not going to hold it against him. I'm just going to say I love the passion. We all have our waifus. You know how it is. I mean, my waifu is Tifa Lockhart from Final Fantasy VII. You can beat rush me any day, baby. I'm just saying. We all have our waifus. We all adore them. But I think 16-Bit and Ducky are the only ones to take it as far as they do, and it's so over the top and hilarious. Whereas Slips, I think he's funny. I think while it's posted sometimes generally misogynistic, they're usually pretty funny. But I still think he has the love for the character that he does. I think he's underestimating how much love there actually is there for their characters.
Well, Slips is coming off as the bully, I have to say. Being so adamant about recruiting Max, who seemed to me like he was being coy about which side to join. But he was like, come on, let's be honest. If he recruited Max, this would be a done deal. Bodied, it's over. And sure enough, that's kind of what happened. But I mean, hey, that's part of being, what do you call himself? The sovereign assassin. He's cerebral. He's calculating.
Cerebral assassin. Triple H.
Yeah. No. All right. Does that mean Slips is just going to push for GGA to kind of share his spotlight and bury everybody else? Is that what you're trying to say, Hippo?
Yeah. I think one day Slips will bust into GGA out of nowhere from the loo, pedigree 16-Bit, and show Majin Berserker and Red Reaper, and proclaim evolution is here.
One
evolution.
is Red Raptor, I think.
Yeah, Red Reaper is the other dude.
Oh, is it?
That's a huge blow up, because Red Raptor plays your damn character.
Whoops.
I apologize to Red Raptor on behalf of
Dude, I gotta
Hippo.
apologize. I'm sorry, Red Raptor.
Isn't Red Reaper the guy that puts K's in everything?
Yeah, but he plays Deathstroke too, kind of.
Oh, Jesus. Also,
Yeah.
I'm now picturing Slips giving 16-Bit the pedigree.
Yeah.
And that is a great image.
On a table.
on the table that streams, GJ Han is gonna roll in. He's gonna roll in the cart and be like, "Guys, I'm swamped." And Slips is like, "Doesn't matter." And Slips is like, "Doesn't matter. I'll pedigree his ass." Ugh, kick to the gut, pedigrees through the table.
Oh, man.
And after that, there's gonna be a total split in GGA. And one day, Max is gonna come in and be like, "Guys, I have an announcement," and he's gonna turn out of nowhere, backbreaker 16-Bit,
Yeah.
rip his GGA.
I don't think that would work in real life, though.
It might. He looks strong. He's gonna rip his GGA shirt off, and underneath it is the Lou shirt.
The loo. Max is defected to the loo. Who's fucking writing this?
It's McMahon.
No, it's not Vince. You know who this sounds like.
Yeah.
Me that 16-Bit.
Yeah.
You get me Slips in here. I don't want his name to just be Slips. I want it to be Slips.
Slaps.
You guys think Slips would actually take Storm's daughter as his wife?
No,
To kind of cement the power trip?
Yeah, what if Slips one day knocked out 16-Bit and made PPJ join the Brad Vitale Kiss My Ass Club?
I mean, PPJ is obviously sisterhood material. We've got definite plot twists. Definite plot twists here.
Yeah, see, by the way, just from this, these threads are awesome and they need to stay.
Yeah, they do. I agree. Fly, thoughts?
Well,
Fly is obviously not a pro wrestling fan because
definitely not.
Yeah, HomeLee isn't either because nobody understood Hippo's fantasy booking other than me and Jack, which I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
When I was a kid, I had a book that had a bunch of pro wrestlers in it, and I'll tell you the ones I remember. And I was like 8, so I'm dating. I'm 28 now, so we're talking 20 years ago. Jake the Snake was in there.
Uh-huh.
Goldust was in there.
Oh my god.
Awesome.
The Undertaker
Blind
was
Ducky
in there.
wrestling.
Let's see. Who else?
The Rock.
I don't think he was in this.
I
one.
don't think the
Yeah,
Rock
I don't know.
was
20 years
on
ago?
20 years ago.
20 years
no.
ago, yeah, I don't know, but
No.
that's all I remember
Wasn't
about
even
pro
talking
wrestling
about
right there. I remember I like Jake the Snake because I thought that was a cool name.
Goldberg.
I mean,
Goldberg wasn't, dude. HomeLee, stop. Goldberg wasn't. HomeLee, do you know Taka Michinoku?
that's racist.
Oh my god. Okay, we got to move
Wait.
on. This is getting too
Wait.
No,
Have you
but
trying to
in
think.
reference to the threads,
Tie and tie? Indeed.
And Funaki.
Tie, go Funaki.
Dude, remember this one time Triple H and Stone Cold were in the ring and Taka's out and Funaki's out. You know how they used to do the dub promos? And they go like, I look in the ring and all I see is dead men walking. And then The Undertaker just comes from behind and beats their asses. Good God, I miss those days. Hey, hopefully, another question. Did you cry when Misawa died?
Oh my god. Cool Whip.
That's super messed up.
I'm sorry, guys. Fly, did you...
in,
Were you in the midst of something there before you named the 3 pro wrestlers you were of?
yeah, those are the only pro wrestlers I can remember.
Wait, hold on. First of all, you remember Bret Hart, right? I mean, that's a big
Oh yeah,
name.
he was in there. Yeah, he was in there.
All right, now about the Brotherhood and Sisterhood.
Well, I'm pro any thread that encourages Slips to post more because I think he's a hilarious poster, and I
Absolutely.
want to encourage that because he doesn't really come around that often. So
I've heard he's feared by dragons and desires
That's yeah, he has that on his profile.
It's
It's
awesome.
pretty awesome.
It's
It's
awesome.
pretty awesome. But I randomly the other day I randomly stumbled upon a thread in the podcast sections in which I don't know which TYM user. I think it's J whatever 123 JTB 123 something like that. I don't know. And he did like a best of KTP, like a 3-hour long kind of montage from the MK9 days. And oh, dude, I mean, Slips is hilarious. He'd go on these stories, and so yeah, the reason I mentioned that is, Fly, you're absolutely spot on by bringing up Slips. So there, yeah,
So,
TJ Dick Fighting,
yeah,
even though technically
I can't
no longer.
necessarily. I don't know. I don't see eye to eye with 16-bit on the love relationship with his character. Like,
It's because you play a dick.
What about Scarlet?
I mean, I like Scarlet, but I don't have costumes for Halloween lined up 5 years in advance to make sure that I portray every single version of Catwoman in the movies ever. Like,
Mike, you would look pretty sexy in a Scarlet outfit. No homo.
Damn. Do you guys need a moment?
nope, I'm good.
Nope. Dean Ambrose. Nope.
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 All right.
So yeah,
So there will be no points awarded for this segment because I frankly have no idea how to fairly distribute them. So we'll move on.
cop out.
Sweet. No negative points.
Well, now that you mention it, no.
No.
I'll
You
spare
said no distributing.
No, actually, no, wait. You already got your negative points because you chose to sit it out. If you just actually played along and went like, oh, yeah, these threads are hilarious, nobody would have actually been able to tell that you didn't
I
do
would have
them.
just made women jokes the whole time.
Well, that sucks. You already got your -3, by the way. Everybody else just doesn't get points. Moving on. This is actually Lord of the Flies' idea.
What did I say? Was I drunk?
No. Each week, from now on, in the thread in which we post the podcast, it will be accompanied by a poll in which we ask the community about what they'd like to see in the future, probably something pertaining to the podcast. So this week, Lord of the Fly decided to post a poll asking the community which guests, if any, would they like to see on a future episode of Consider the Following. Now, to be clear, we haven't actually made up our minds if we will have guests to begin with. We are all aware of the complications that would arise by having by having any guests on because of the fact that we're already 5 people, and some would argue that's about 4 too many. We are aware that, with time constraints and all of that, that could be complicated. We still haven't figured out what we'll do about it, but you guys voted, and we are men of the people, so we will tackle that head on. on the air. To the surprise of absolutely nobody, Tom Brady is the most requested member. I mean,
I am actually
think
really
last I
surprised he got the most votes.
Were you really?
Yeah,
Of course.
I was actually really
Dude,
surprised.
People love Tom, or they love to hate him.
If we're talking
whatever.
about polarizing characters, he's one of them. I mean,
he's on top of the list, dude. He's right up there, I think. So, yeah, people love to hear Tom speak, repetitive as he might get. So, he got the most votes. I don't know how honest you guys want to be about this discussion, so we'll keep this open-ended. Whoever speaks first, speaks first.
I'm not sure what your question is.
What do you guys think?
Are you saying we should have Are we saying we should have guests?
What do you think about the community's votes? Should we have guests?
Oh,
and if so,
I mean, well, to be honest,
let Hippo seems posted first about this, so I'll ask Hippo to go first.
100% honesty. I'm not fully on with the idea of guests because I do feel like 5 is already a lot. I don't mind the occasional guest. Here's my problem, though. I know a lot of people really seem to like, or let's be honest, ironically like Tom Brady for what he brings to whatever he comes to be on. However, and I might be in the minority, call it hating, whatever, I am simply fed up with his antics. I no longer think of him as entertaining. I think of them as damaging. And you can look no further to where if he's really, ready to really talk about things and be different, that interview that was just posted on the front page, which was nice, but ultimately was reiterating the same points we've always heard. He's Sub-Zero. I was working at Prima. I couldn't play the game, blah, blah, blah. And I have no interest in hearing it whatsoever. And he'll dominate this podcast, which he does whenever he's on by making the same points over and over again.
Shut the fuck up. I don't like you, Hippo. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
that was a good impression.
It was. And even further, it's like there's so many brownie points lost after the Scorpion debacle, after everything he's ever said about Aquaman, how he can't get the can't get games fiasco, the going to CEO and quitting the tournament, then getting on commentary and having the gall to say, if I was in this tournament, I just really think I could have done damage. I have no interest in being a part of that, and I don't. You guys, and again, I'm one voice. This is a democratic podcast. If you guys want to do it, go ahead. I won't be a part of it.
Since we are now turning this into a show meeting for the public, which I think is cool, by the way. I think it's nice to give people behind closed doors sort of look at what goes on. Hide. Yeah, man, I'm all
other
for
than
it.
my account.
Zing. Yeah, I do not want to be known as one of the people that gave Tom Brady a platform to push whatever his agenda of that day is. It's really weird for me to say that because behind the scenes, in my head, just in thought, I've always kind of been a Tom supporter. I've always cheered for Tom. I've always wanted Tom to do well. I always kind of feel bad when things don't go his way. I've just always, in a weird way, had a soft spot for Tom. I just want to see things go right. But after, quite frankly, the ass he's made of himself over and over and over again, I don't want my name on anything that can be a platform for him to push his agenda. So I'm not on board for that. As far as the guest topic in general, I guess it's possible that we could maybe set aside like a 15, 20-minute window or something, and we can bring someone on and just do maybe like a little interview, a little dialogue or something. But I think this shit's already a train wreck with the 5 of us. If we brought in a 6th voice, and God forbid it's a 6th voice that talks more than, I don't know, HomeLee, then HomeLee would literally never get to say anything for the entire show, and it would be...
Are you saying HomeLee is expendable, and if we have a guest, he'd be the one to make way?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that he would be the one that wouldn't talk.
Okay.
I can see that being possible.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that it would concern me for a full show. I'm not saying that I'm anti the theory in general, but my concern would just be that this is already a mashup. So we might be able to set aside a segment where we just have someone on and we do like a little bit with them, but for an entire show, it could be a disaster.
I'm completely against the entire show thing. Like, I don't want somebody on the entire show because you're right. I mean, we're talking over each other. It's already a little crowded. But I like the idea of having a guest once in a while. You know, not every episode. But the thing about Tom Brady, I'm all about chaos.
Ratings.
Chaos. No, not even ratings, but chaos. Like, a guy like Tom Brady, I don't care if he makes an ass of himself. He can make any point he wants. We can argue him. We can agree with him. At the end of the day, what makes him interesting is some of those rants. And as long as we have it limited, I feel like it would just be funny. I don't know. I just want to sit here.
I don't want to embarrass the guy. I don't want to get him on and just, it's funny. Look, he's ranting. It's not.
Well, that's up to him. That's up to him.
Because it's not funny.
It's up to him.
It's not funny to hear a guy who clearly feels very emotionally slighted to really air his grievances out in public. It's not what he needs. It's not what we need. And I'm not saying he's going to be this way forever. Maybe MKX comes out and he really does turn over a hopefully strong new leaf. But I'm just saying for right now, I don't think this is what he needs, another place to air his grievances that he's done constantly so many times and it doesn't help anybody.
It's a valid point.
HomeLee, what do you think?
I really wish, Mike, when you made that poll, you put a have no guest speaker option, because you kind of just listed people and then put other.
Well, there's a no. There's a
no.
No,
he
option.
said, there was an option for no guest.
Oh, there was? Okay. I skipped over that.
HomeLee, I wish when Mike made that poll, you read it.
I wish you went to TYM and actually contributed.
Dude, you are on your game.
I voted for a TYM mod, actually.
I did too.
But I like Mike's idea when he was talking to us earlier about it. Like, if we do have a guest, we give them maybe 20, 30 minutes, and even if they're still talking, we just kick them off. I think that'd be pretty funny, to be honest. Like, you'll hear Tom whining, and then 30 minutes up, get out of here.
Like, I could just easily end the call and then call you guys right back, and he would.
How long do you think it would take before Tom actually realizes that we're no longer there? I think he ran for a good 30 minutes before.
Yeah, it would be a while. It would be a while.
As for like Tom being the most voted, like, I personally don't have a problem with another guest speaker if they're allowed at a certain amount of time. As Saucy Jack said, I might not be able to speak at all. But like, my first impression of Tom when I met him at Final Round, man, the very first thing I heard from this guy was, "Why did I get kicked off the team for the team tourney? Why?" And he just kept going on about it, and Arma is trying to calm him down, and then like, the guy just wasn't. He just wasn't having it. He just kept going on. Literally, I think for about 2 hours, he went on with that same question. Why'd you guys kick me off? Blah, blah. And then at night, after the pools, we had the team tourney in like this crowded-ass suite room. And then KDZ and Tom Brady had like a little across-the-room argument. It was pretty funny. To me, Tom is kind of like the underdog. He's cool to root for in tournament, but like, as for like, just seeing how talking to him, he kind of just talks about himself and whines. So I would be opposed to having him on the show, to be honest.
Do we want to vote? Cool Whip?
As far as guests in general, I'm with all of you. Guests for the whole show, I think honestly, if Pick Up the Hut, for example, says, "Hey guys, I want to be on, I have something to say, I want to be for the full, whatever the duration of this goes," I'd be more than happy to give way for, Pig or whoever to actually be on the show, provided they really need the 3 hours. Or even, it's Pig, we love him, even if he just wants to have fun and,
He might just be at my house having a beer.
I am biased.
That
just sounds biased.
I don't like that because
I don't like that either.
Not serving agendas, period. It's quote unquote has something to say. Like this, I would like this to be thought of more as a hangout. This is not to push agendas. This is 5 dudes have strong opinions and want to shoot the crap. It's not about someone getting on a soapbox and being like, "Listen, this community." Like, it's like we take we're making fun of that here. It's not like we're here to say, this is your time, man. Go for it. You got it, man. Say what you want. We're saying what we like, but it's because it's our show. It's not because when the guest comes on and said they quote unquote have something to say, it becomes their show. This is our show.
Shit. That's not flying around here.
All right, which is why then, if we will have a guest, it will be a limited segment. Whoever it is, we'll figure out the time. But yeah, I think the problem is if this podcast take 3 hours as it is, with a guess, it would take over 4 easily, and that's just way too much. Anyway, as far as Tom Brady, here's the thing with Tom. I'm a fan. I'll root for him when he plays. I do find him entertaining in general. However, I do think he gets extremely repetitive. His threads, every time he makes a thread about that's supposed to amount to, oh, this is a new beginning. You know, no, I'm just gonna play the game. I'm not gonna complain. I'm not gonna care about what people say. I just want to do this. We've heard that 100 times already. Especially, how many versions of the New Leaf have we heard? It doesn't have to be called the New Leaf, but something that pretty much amounts to just that. I think it gets a bit tiresome. I think Tom, these days, for him to be entertaining, I think he would need kind of somebody to balance him from the other hand. Like, the last few times I found Tom entertaining was like when he was with Pig on that whole, I don't like you, Brian thing. Because Pig is one of the few who would actually, speak up and kind of... He's one of the few who would actually ask Tom to shut up. So because that won't happen here, it's just going to be Tom talking nonstop. I don't even know if we can limit it to 20 minutes because I'm pretty sure 20 minutes would just be the introduction with Tom. So, I mean, I'm not vetoing the guy or anything. I think, if that's what people want to see, I wouldn't be against it. But if you honestly ask me whether I am or against Tom being on, just purely my opinion, I'll say this as somebody who roots for Tom, and generally I think his presence in the community does add hype. And this is mainly just my nostalgia for the MK9 days, honestly. Because I think the whole Injustice fiasco with the Trident Rush thing and the stubbornness and the obvious ego and agenda was way too much. But, honest opinion, I would say I would prefer not to have Tom on because he really can't be controlled. So that's my... But, I mean...
The untamable Tom Brady.
That's what he is. I mean, really, for better or worse, sometimes it's super entertaining. I remember when he was on the KTP with Rio and they went back and forth. It was hilarious. But when he's alone, does anybody here seriously not know what Tom is going to say? Other than HomeLee, because he seems to not know anything.
I guess we hope for something new.
I mean...
That's a little naive.
I hear what you guys are saying, though. I mean... I respect it, and TYM wants to see it. I think it's maybe worth something down the road, but maybe in the short term, it sounds like we don't do it. We give him a chance to get an MKX, maybe, and then we maybe discuss it later.
Sure.
Okay. So if everyone did want a guest, who would you want and why?
Damn. All right.
I don't know.
Triforce.
Oh,
wow.
Man.
Why?
Triforce would be my number one choice.
Totally. Didn't you not know who Triforce was the other night?
I know of him, but I would like to hear the whole story since I'm kind of new to that.
There's a documentary you can watch.
Yeah,
really?
just go on. Yeah.
Someone link that to me.
Somebody link that. Please,
and by the way, if you really want to see the hilarious side of Triforce, seriously, YouTube Tom Brady versus Denzel Sub-Zero mirrors. I don't know if you've heard about that set, but anyway, it was supposed to be to decide who the best Sub-Zero is, and Triforce was on commentary. So YouTube that, you'll get an idea.
Okay.
So Triforce is on my list. Obviously, Gross would be high on my list.
Gross is on my list.
Wait, but why Triforce though?
Dude, just
funny.
YouTube, you'll understand. YouTube that set, you'll understand.
I got you.
They're talking about Consider the Following.
Yeah.
They're talking about Saucy Jack. They're talking about the Empire. How could you not at least be slightly entertained, for maybe at least 2.5 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, in a small dose, and I mean, we just put a picture of a Power Glove in the thread, and we're good to go, man.
Good.
Real rap injustice was us.
There was no footsies. There was no Kevin Landon.
Also, by the way, I would love to hear Triforce talk about a game that he's never even once thought of playing in his life.
It would be awesome. Oh, man.
I approve of this.
I mean, my number one thought right now is Punk Mafia 83, because, I mean, he's loving me in the threads, and I don't play favorites, but he sounds like a really smart guy, so he should probably be a guest. How about that?
Who is that?
I don't know, but he always says that I'm awesome in the threads, so he's clearly classy.
Wait.
Intelligent.
When I suggested pig, I was like, oh, no favoritism here. Yet Saucy Chad gets to have his blind date on.
That's not
You want to have a
favoritism
blind
at
date
all.
with him? You want
No.
to use our podcast as a medium?
First of all, absolutely not. Everyone that knows me knows my fighting game boyfriend is Vagrant, and I would never cheat on him because I'm a classy guy. Second of all, I'm just saying, since whoever Punk Mafia 83 is clearly acknowledges and can recognize the intelligence and the class that I put out, I mean, he knows what's going on, so it might be worth listening to him. He's obviously intelligent.
You guys think minus 25 is too excessive?
You know who's on the top of my list? I would really like to get CD Jr. on. I think that would be so much fun.
Yo, real rap? I'm picking up the like it.
I'd like to give a chance to Eric Z19 because I think he has not only good graphics for the show, but I think he has good points.
I would like to get Eric on so he could apologize to me.
For what?
About what?
Eric, he'll post in the thread. He'll verify this. He shamelessly steals some of the things that get said on GBS commentary and puts them on shirts and sells them. Shamelessly.
Dude, that's about as good as an endorsement as you're going to get. I mean...
No, Eric's super cool. He would actually be on my list. That would be tight. Plus, we
Thanks,
had
bro.
shut it. No one likes you. He also, I mean, we share that Green Arrow swag. So I mean, that's what I'm talking about.
I also would like to see in Super Bowl on the show. I think he's
I
a funny
actually
poster.
think Soup is hilarious. Minus East Coast bias, but we all have our biases. So who am I to call somebody biased other than Claude? In Super Bowl, I think he's hilarious. Honestly, real rap, that VXG Chronicles thread, which of course HomeLee is not aware of, again, is one of the greatest things to happen to TYM. I was in tears reading that. I think for that alone, in Super Bowl has become a TYM legend.
Hippo, would you like Chef to be on?
Hey, used to co-host a podcast together.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did. I don't think he'd be interested.
I think he'd be like, no, Hippo's a bitch. That's what he said. Apparently when M2 Dave asked him to be on the Let's Be Serious Here podcast, he was like, no, PL's a bitch.
Dave would
Now me and
actually
PL
be
are actually
fine.
kind of tight. They go back and forth on Twitter, and the good kind of back and forth.
I would
Apparently,
put
happened,
Dave
Chef?
on my short list. of
No,
people.
he would be
Yeah,
not on my
absolutely.
list. No.
You would not
What,
be on your list?
Dave?
Why not?
You're
No.
insane.
Did you ever listen to his podcast?
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be his podcast. He would be on our
Exactly.
turf, and Dave would get
Yes.
fucking regulated.
I would put him
Dave
on the same
is-
list as Tom Brady. Interesting to listen to, but if for the same reasons you didn't want Tom on, I would put Dave on that list.
Dave is not like that. And actually, Dave is only
Flies
like that on
making-
the forums.
Sly's making good points.
All right,
Hey.
that's fine. No. I appreciate everyone's vote.
I think
It's all good.
Hippo's hubris is not allowing him to be in the presence of the real best Deathstroke in the world.
Oh,
That's all I'm saying.
My hubris? My hubris? Dude, I'm an English teacher and I'm offended by the use of the word hubris in this context.
What do you want me to call it? Ego. But I didn't want to come off
Ego.
as James MK. I'm not gonna. Hey, I refuse to.
I
use
mean,
that word.
how hard would it be to come off with James? Yo, I mean, look, these motherfuckers, you know, they don't know what they're talking about. It's Jimmy here.
Absolutely.
I-
James MK would be the top of my list to have on this show.
No, he would be the
Yeah,
bottom. He's the absolute last.
No, he would be at the top because I want him here. Because as soon as he starts talking, I would tell him to shut the fuck up and then kick him off the call.
Oh my god!
Wow,
That's
dude,
my
he'd
list.
go.
It
That
really,
was the only reason I'd want him on this call.
there's no
And
need
he'd
for
go on
that.
TYM. He'd call you immature, and then he'll ask you to suck on his balls. See, that's the best thing about the James MK irony. It's like, oh, these immature, grown men, you know, talking as if they were still teenagers. They can all lick my balls. Like, all right, James. I mean, don't just pod the irony here. If Tom Brady's shtick is tired and repetitive, then God, I don't know what that makes of James MK's.
That means
shtick.
James
Don't-
K invented the word repetitive.
Pretty much. I mean, God. All right, so this is turning into who we don't want on the podcast. Who do I want on the podcast? You guys, I think Eric was a great choice. And no, it's not you, HomeLee.
Thanks, man.
I actually like that you just no-sold what I said and went through with it anyway. Bonus points for that. Nobody's getting points for this segment, but you get a very sympathetic +1.
I've got one more suggestion. Vandy.
Oh yeah, I would actually very much
absolutely,
like that.
absolutely.
Oh, he would be awesome to have on.
Personally, I'm more interested. Like, we know who the top players are and stuff like that. I would be more interested in some guy like Andy, like, I don't know, like Han. You know, any of these guys who kind of do things on the sly, and it's like something we don't.
You mean the little guys, the Jimmy Potatoes, the
Volcanities of the world, you know?
Yeah.
Actually, I think it would be a great idea to try to get, tournament organizers a little bit of a voice to speak.
Chalk.
You know what I mean?
I nominate Chalk.
I nominate you to be off this podcast.
Dude, hey.
You're nominating yourself though, because aren't you 3 one person?
Don't worry about that.
Dude. One person I'd like to see, I'm with Hippo about, I love a lot of the top players, but we've heard them plenty of times. I'm not saying I would be opposed to it or anything, but I would like to see somebody we never really heard from. Vandy, I think. Actually, I wanted to bring this up when we talked about the KIT online tournament. Like, Vandy is somebody who gets it too. Like, he started promoting KIT 2015 literally the day after KIT 2014. That's a year in advance. And I don't think it's any coincidence that tournament received so much praise, and everybody kept, going on and on about how well they were treated. And he is active in the community too. Like, if I would ask Vandy to make Injustice brackets, I think he'd do a better job than, fuck it, I'll say it, Mike Metroid. So,
you know who ran the brackets at Naptown Clutch?
Who?
Vandy.
There you go, and you won, so collusion. But anyway.
Obviously.
No,
but my point was the tournament was fun. It was great. It was perfect.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a good dude. Vandy gets 2 thumbs up from this Jew.
Absolutely. Although he did ask about whether we'd have Rod Helios on, and fuck no to that.
Well, he's also the only tournament organizer that actually posts and follows players, and that's rare. That's a good thing.
He's my number 1 vote.
I co-sign that.
I say that's awesome. Let's go for Vandy.
Yeah, I like that.
We'll figure it out with him.
Yeah, now we'll decide how we want to do it. But look at this. We're doing board meetings right here on the show. We had the
no Illuminati here.
That's right.
We air everything. Yep.
I love it.
Including Hippo's hubris.
Which, by the way, is the name of a great spoken word album.
Yeah, Hippo's hubris.
Yeah.
Is Henry Rollins doing the spoken word is the question.
I hope not.
All right, guys. So, I think you're all aware that MKX is getting released sometime
I had heard.
next year.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, if you believe some guys, they totally forgot that the game is going to be released because NRS haven't really announced any new characters since Quan Chi. I mean, the nerves. A month and a half without announcing a new character? Dude, they're doing a shitty job at promoting the game. You'd think I'm exaggerating, but you have no idea how many guys on TYM are repeating this stupid narrative. Anyway, I'm actually curious to know, for you top players and HomeLee, what is the first thing you do when you pick up a new fighting game? When you finally get your hands on MKX, which for some of you might be sooner than others. Shots fired. When will you focus... Thank you for explaining that joke for everybody who understood it, I'm pretty sure.
No lessons learned.
What will you focus? You're so immature. Your ego, your hubris. See, that's gonna be my catchphrase here, or whatever it is. Anyway, what do you call a catchword? It's not a catchword. What is it?
It's not.
If it's just one word, it can be a catchphrase. It's just one word, right?
It's just your calling card, man.
Okay. Anyway, what will you focus on in the first week of MKX? You get the game. Will you go to training mode first? Will you play story mode? Will you just mess around with a few characters? How do you figure out how the game works? We'll start with Fly.
I mean, personally, I always go through the story mode first. I feel like I want to get it out of the way. It's interesting, but it's the least exciting part to me. So I get that done and out of the way as soon as possible, and then I dive into practice mode. That's me. Try to find broken stuff and then find myself wrong. And end up picking up a shitter like Nightwing.
Arrow trap.
Dude, that shit was tight, though. You know that's tight.
I completely
I'm not
forgot
talking
about that.
Green Arrow's arrow trap, bro.
Oh, you're talking about Nightwolf's
Completely
arrow trap?
forgot about
I'm
that.
talking about Nightwolf's
Dude,
arrow
that was
trap.
the only dirt he's ever had. And it's the
It
best.
wasn't even dirt. You're crazy.
Hey,
I love
I'll
you.
do it to you in casuals next time.
Yeah.
Didn't he beat you in the Nightwolf mirrors?
Yeah, at final round when neither one of us had played a game in 7 months.
So,
So
Fly,
the
you're saying
highest
the
possible
only-
level.
Yeah, the only people you've played on this podcast have bodied you? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah.
I respect that answer, actually.
Yeah.
I had to
respect that
think
answer.
about it. I mean,
think we should
HomeLee's
have
never
Big on to make
HomeLee's
things
never
worse.
bodied me despite what he says. But Jack actually, when I went to Chicago, he beat me worse than anybody else there that beat me.
Oh, alright.
Yeah.
Superman's
Better than
broke.
16-bit and PPJ.
It wasn't me. Superman's just broke.
Oh, yeah, that fake humility. Hey, don't downplay your hubris. Anyway,
Hubris again. That joke is done.
HomeLee,
goodness.
you get the game. Other than looking at frame data, because there are numbers involved, what do you do?
I normally, for a new fighting game, I would go to training mode first and learn a few combos before I go into story mode. That way I'm not pressing start halfway through every fucking fight learning a combo.
I hear you.
And then, yeah, I would do that, and then, I would probably, after that, I would play some of my friends that don't normally play fighting games seriously, that just buy it casually, and I would body them to get my confidence up. And then I'd go body Fly, and I'd feel really confident.
I thought that's what you were referring to when you said my friend that I
Damn.
used to
Oh,
body.
jokes. You got jokes.
But yeah, I would. Well, actually, before I body Fly, I'd go back to story mode. Because like MK story mode was very enjoyable for me. Like it wasn't the Street Fighter 4. You get a random anime cutscene that you have no idea what's going on. It actually transitioned very well for each scene right after another, and the way how they they transition from character cutscene into the fight was really well done. And I hope that continues in MKX because I'm really interested in the story because it's kind of like past and future, and so it's kind of like a new story arc. And I really want to see what it's about. But then I'd go body Fly right after.
Hippo?
Well, no, I'm here. I agree with Fly and HomeLee. I actually am a huge fan of the story modes of the games. I think they're really entertaining. I think they're very in-depth. I'm actually genuinely curious to see how the story goes. So I absolutely would take a couple days and blow through that because to me, it's not going to be me. I'll admit, first and foremost, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I probably can't figure out, anything. If you took me to training mode the first day, I probably wouldn't know what to do. So I'll take, the first week, maybe the first 2 weeks, just go through story mode, kind of see what's developing around on Test Your Might, and then maybe I would hop into training mode and just learn to move. I think in any fighting game, it's super important what character you're playing. You know absolutely how to move on the field of battle. You know what their jump arc is, how fast they walk, what their dashes look like, and then just in general, it's going to be a new game. I'm obviously going to have to get used to that run mechanic. I might play with that a little bit. I might learn how to run, learn how fast you can cancel it. Once I know how to move, I'm already that far ahead in learning how to space my moves with just universal mechanics. Then I can apply that to the character and so on and so forth. So to me, I'm going to take a couple weeks, very casually play the story mode, and then just learn to move.
And then body Fly.
Yeah.
Man.
Zach?
Well, I mean, as you guys have already pointed out, I'm already playing MKX, so I mean, I can tell you what I've
Who
already
wins
done.
when you play PPJ?
I mean, I body him, obviously, because I've been playing the game since before Paulo even thought of it. I've been playing it for years.
Can you give me some hinters as to who the next reveal is going to be?
Yeah, it's gonna be. Shut up. Okay, so.
Damn it.
No, okay. When I get a new fighter, it was interesting. In MK9, when I got it, I immediately tried to beat my friends, and that was my first fighter in like a decade. I hadn't played one since I don't even know, Street Fighter 2 Alpha or Street Fighter Alpha or something like that. So I I bought it. I went online. I tried to play my friends, and I just did like jump, kick, uppercut, and shit. Like because I didn't know what was going on. So when I got Injustice, I was like, let's not do that. I need, people are doing combos and stuff. I need to whatever. So day one Injustice, you can actually go back and look. It's just random piece of information. It's just funny when you think about it compared to how history has gone. If you look at the day one Injustice release, I actually accidentally found like Ravens B&Bs that people are still using. I don't know. I was like, I need to do combos, and I'm going to play Raven. It'll be great. And that was a huge mistake. So I get to troll PPJ and Ducky because they use my combo, but that's actually a total fluke because I'm not even a combo guy. I don't know how I accidentally came up with one for her. They must have been easy. So in this game, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play story mode immediately. One, because NRS stories are great. Two, I'm actually in Fly's camp. While the story is cool, I kind of do just want it to be done because it'll irk me. Like 3 weeks later, I'm playing, at GGA and stuff. If I haven't completed the story, I'm going to be mad. So I'm going to do that first so that doesn't come up. And then whichever character I end up playing, which, as we've discussed, as of right now is Kano, I'm not going to think about combos. I'm not going to think about zoning. I'm not going to think about shenanigans. I'm not going to think about corner. No tech. I am literally just going to play around with his normals. I'm going to figure out...
Footsies. Footsies.
I think what's important is that you figure out your character's spacing
Footsies.
And how. Yeah, that's pretty much it. When I don't want to say his name because it's not a blow up, but he might feel like it's a blow up, so I'll leave it out. But there was a Superman player who asked me how I was so good with Superman compared to him after I'd only been playing him for a month or two, and I was like, well, I'm not. Your Superman specifically is better than my Superman. I just might happen to be a better Injustice player who happens to use the character of Superman. And I think that's what's really important, that you spend your time learning how MKX is going to work, or whatever that new fighter is, compared to the flashy combos and shit. So I guess I'm going to go Fly to Hippo. If you think I'm going to combine both. I'm going to be like Fly, I'm going to play the story, then I'm going to be like Hippo, and I'm going to learn how Kano moves. I don't give a shit about his combos or anything like that. I'll let 2IM figure out the combos for me. And if 2IM doesn't figure them out, then I'll just do 5% combos the whole time, and I'll just be fine playing footsies. I think that's way more important than figuring out a 40% B&B.
True.
How do you guys choose a main, though? Like, I think part of my first experience in the game is trying to estimate or figure out some type of potential. Like, I think that's a big part of what I look for after I finish story and I see what characters are doing or who bodies me the first time with the computer. I go back into practice mode and I'm like, what kind of dirt do they have? And what's potential like for this character?
Well, for me, it's always usually purely cosmetic. Like,
I agree.
I think Deathstroke is awesome. Like, just look at him. He looks cool. He has a cool voice. But if I had to dig down, there's certain archetypes in fighters that I really like. For example, I love characters that have a little bit of everything and maybe they're not excellent at anything, but they just have them. And that goes back to when I would play Super Turbo and I played DJ, who is a well-rounded character who can do everything, and that still carries over to how Deathstroke is in the game, and I play him. But I also happen to love characters who are super mobile and just can press a bunch of buttons at the same time and make you guess to do something and just flutter you. Because I used to like Rolento in the older Street Fighter games. And that carries over to how I play Combo in Killer Instinct. So there's archetypes that I like. I generally, though, will go for cosmetics over most things.
Yeah, the choice, I think, comes down to preference, because you have two types of players, right? You have GGA 16-bit, a person like that. He falls in love with the character. It doesn't matter what the hell Catwoman had. Catwoman could have been the best in the game or the worst in the game. 16-bit loves Catwoman. That's who he was playing. You know what I mean? So you've got people that do that, or then you have people like Hippo who are like, well, here's what I like to do. Let me find a character that does that. For me personally, I think Kano's awesome. That's why he's going to be the first character I play, but I'm not pigeonholing myself. Personally, I like characters that jump a lot. I like being free to jump as I want. And I don't need a good projectile, but I like having one, just knowing that it's there. So any character that has a projectile and gets to jump around hella is going to be someone that I gravitate towards. As long as I don't think they're super dumb, I might play that. I just happen to think Kano is cool.
So not super dumb. Got it.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could give you something more complete on that, but here's why I bring that up, though. It's like, when I picked Doomsday up, it was because I thought Doomsday would complement me as a player. I was like, dude, my footsie game is weak, Doomsday has shoulder. My defense is weak, Doomsday has trait. My anti-air is weak, Doomsday has grab. Like, I was like, this character is going to complete what I need. He covers my weaknesses, but I didn't enjoy playing Doomsday. That's why I ultimately dropped him. Even though I had more success with Doomsday than anyone I had ever played, I just didn't enjoy playing him. So for me, I can't be a guy that picks someone who just complements my playstyle. I kind of have to like him a little bit. Not to 16 bits level, but I just have to at least kind of think the character's cool in some way.
For me, mainly, I don't look for potential because, I honestly don't think I really have that sort of foresight. I don't think I'm good enough to truly figure out what's going to be really great in the game. I mean, much better players than I am are often wrong about these things early on, especially when you factor in patches and that sort of stuff. So I don't want to pick a character off of being potentially good. I go for what's cool mainly, or unless there's a character I know that I'm going to main for sure, like Batman, for example. I mean, he is my favorite superhero. So if it wasn't going to be Batman, it was going to be somebody from some villain from the Batman universe anyway. But, I knew pretty much it was going to be Batman. In MK, I started out with Scorpion and Raiden because they were my two favorite characters. And actually, when I picked Kung Lao, it was kind of like what you just mentioned, Chag. It was sort of to compensate for my own deficiencies. I couldn't really anti-air that well. I couldn't move that well. And here's a character I can do both of the above with minimal risk, really. So I did. And after a while, I actually realized that he was stopping me from learning the game, because when I would pick other characters that required, dash blocking in, spacing, whiff punishing, like I'd pick Johnny Cage because he's also one of my favorites, and I'd get bodied and I didn't know how to get around Sonic, so I had to step away from him. After I leveled up, obviously it became easier, so when I first picked up Batman and Injustice, it wasn't that big a deal. But I like not feeling limited. I think, we can, for all of Batman quote-unquote downplaying, I think one of the good things about him is you never feel completely helpless, unless on knockdown, but that's probably one aspect. But in the neutral game, in the corner, whatever it is, whether you're pressuring or zoning, you feel like you have options. The same goes for Kung Lao. So I like to have that option. I don't like to be limited. So that's probably the sort of character I would look for in MKX. Unless Kung Lao is in, then I'll just play him regardless.
Yeah. I don't know. Sound effects are important.
Sound effects. Well, Kung Lao has awesome sound effects.
How did you play
Scarlet?
I like the way her slide sounded. Have you ever just done an empty slide and just listened to it?
Have you ever gotten nut punched by Johnny Cage?
Yeah.
That's the worst sound in MK9.
Rio actually made a thread about that. What's his Scarlet forums? He said, pick Johnny Cage, input nut punch, enjoy the rest. And yeah, he's kind of right. God damn. Yeah, Scarlet's super annoying, dude. Kung Lao has the coolest sound effects by far. Like the hat toss, the spin, and those.
No, Nightwolf has the sound effects down.
Dude, Nightwolf's shoulder. What was so awesome about it? The sound effect literally sounds like, I don't know. It always reminded me of literally like a train. Like, it's not the choo choo, but it's like the boom when he fucking shoulders at you. It's awesome. And Hatchet sounds great, even though that move was a bill. Yeah, he's tight.
Anyways.
Can we talk about how good it feels when you summon up Batman's trait and there's that kind of like that electronic bat-like sound? That's pretty awesome. It's so
click.
Subtle, but it's pretty awesome.
That little is that a good?
I can't quite mimic it. No.
I like the sound when you get hit by a battery. It's like cheek.
Injustice has a ton of cool sounds, man. You gotta the end of Superman's super when you get splatted on the ground sounds super deep. Like, it's really good.
Oh, I know. I think we can all agree when on Rooftop the transition into the museum, that little slow-mo sound. sound.
Yeah, it's good. That's really good. Dude, I love blowing the character up, but a lot of Catwoman's moves, like her whip sounds awesome. Her claws sound cool.
Yeah.
So if sounds are important to you, you'll probably be all right. NRS seems to do really good with sounds.
When Deathstroke does 4-3.
Yeah, it's tight. I'm getting annoyed.
Is it I'm getting annoyed or you're getting annoying?
You're getting annoying.
Oh, is that?
Yeah,
what
I think it's you're getting annoying.
Whatever.
feel like
Someone's annoyed with someone.
I feel like I'm playing
Yeah.
Blake right now. Whenever you play Blake in casuals, he starts to talk about his character, like in their voice, or do the animations.
Yeah,
Which
I remember I saw him once. He was playing Glass Sword.
Super
and
distracting.
He grabbed him, and he actually did the whole Batman grab motion.
Yeah.
Well, you know how Batman covers his face while he sets the ticking bomb thing? Blake would do that as he was playing.
It's awesome playing with Blake, man. He's just like, oh, watch the parry.
Yeah, he'll do
like,
the parry and then he'll throw his arm up like he has a cape on.
Anyways,
awesome.
Sorry.
So yeah, anyways, I guess in short, to answer your question, it sounds like most of us are just going to play story mode and then hit the lab, but what everyone's doing in the lab is going to be different.
Yeah. Regardless, I'm going to body fly.
Yeah, and then we're all going to body fly.
Money match all of you to MKX.
Money match, day one money match?
Day one money match.
Yo, I'll
to
day
Raheel
zero
use
money
you
match
guys.
you. Jack, when's the demo coming out?
A Nightwing Day Zero money match?
Whoa, Nightwing Day Zero, shoutouts.
To
No,
history.
fine, nothing?
To history.
Whatever happened to that guy?
He got tired of the drama. That's what he said.
Fair enough.
We're cool.
I wonder
We're on
why.
good terms.
So he got tired of you, basically.
Pretty much.
It was never me.
Yeah.
It was.
I'm sure it was all
Is
Damien.
that code for it's always you?
Yeah.
It's not my fault people fall for my trolls. It's what makes it fun.
That's what
It's
you
true.
claim it's trolling, but I think that's just an option select. Anyway, we'll move on. As far as point goes, I'll award an extra point to Hippo because I think the movement point he made is extremely on point. I think movement in fighting games, I mean, look at Injustice. People kept complaining about movement. Nobody, even to this day, some people still have no idea how to move within the game. And you just look at, they dash twice in a row or whatever. And I think, people also get too over-reliant on back dashes. Even though, in the opinion of some top European players, top players don't know how to backdash out of pressure. But regardless. Anyway, so Hippo, you get an extra point.
Yay!
There you go. You might be in the lead, by the way. We'll tally that up in a bit.
It's good to know that your math skills are on point.
They
Just wait till
totally.
I got you.
Are you counting in the metric system?
Dude, I mean, HomeLee, judging by your performances, we'd have to change the criteria.
Wait. Huge.
Why is not getting away with
He
that?
just said you count on the metric system. The measurement.
You guys can't take a joke. Come on.
What?
That was a joke. Come on,
Oh
guys.
my god.
You guys can't take it. Come on. Just let it go.
Dude.
Let it go.
Wait. You can't say that was a joke. That was said with zero irony. Get out of here, man.
My irony voice and my serious voice are the same.
That was either the no-sell of the century, or you are now currently super selling us a bill of goods. I'm not sure which it is.
It is a bill of goods. It's definitely.
Bill or thrill? Fly.
It's a huge bill.
That's a thrill right there.
Is bill or thrill going to be a thing now? I hope not.
I think it's a
good
good
segment.
I think
like
it's a great segment.
Yeah, props
I'm not
to
talking about the segment. I'm talking about the expression. Because
It's a good expression.
Yeah, it's solid.
So would you say the bill or thrill expression is a bill or a thrill? All right,
Okay,
moving
now
on.
you're prop fishing.
Yeah, no,
I know,
absolutely.
I'm not-
Give your minus 1 point for next week when you're not the host. So whoever's the host, remember, he's
So I'm
lazy.
starting at
He's
I'm
starting
starting
at
at a
negative
life
1.
deficit. It's like the combat code. I'm starting at a life deficit. All right, it's fine. I'll overcome the odds. I'll challenge you all, by the way, to MKX. I'll Rahius you dudes. I mean, I'll body you all. You'll never play me. I'll just make claims. Maybe I should. You know what? I should turn from the reasonable poster to the Rahius poster in MKX. We'll see. Anyway, well, another topic that we need to discuss, and oh boy, do I know this is going to cause shitstorm in the comments section, or in the thread. We'll go ahead. I'll just throw it out there. No introductions, no nothing. ban the testers. Yay or nay? Go ahead, Tester, Mr. Tester. I'm talking, of course.
HomeLee, he's obviously talking to you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right.
HomeLee,
So-
while you're testing your skills bodying Fly.
Okay. So are we talking
honestly,
like banning from the first tournament, or
And
like,
obviously, do you think that
just
the
ban?
testers should be banned for the first, say, couple of months? Do you think? Okay, I'll put it that way. Do you think the testers should not play until Evo? There, I'll narrow it down. The game was released in April, by the way.
April, and Evo's like in what, July?
Are you really not aware? All right.
Have you ever been to an Evo though, Eric?
I have not. I would like to though. Ban till Evo? That's man.
All right. If you do think
I
they
would
should
say.
ban,
I would
how-
say. I would say. God, if I would say if there's banning the testers, I would say maybe ban from the first regional or major. That would be it. Only because the first regional or / major is pretty much the debut game, and you know, it's kind of like a good way for like new players to go in and like, or just returning players to come in and to like not to fully show the game, but like show off the game. But it's kind of, I'm not putting it in the right way.
Well, I'm gonna jump in and I'm gonna.
Go
I
ahead.
feel like I know what you're saying.
Go
And
ahead.
what I would like to see happen is the testers. I'd want to see it hyped up. I want to see the testers not be allowed to play initially, but I'd like for them to be kind of sponsored as the, you know, if they're from NetherRealm, if 16-bit is working for NetherRealm, I'd love for him to be one of the sponsored people to go and represent the game, though, and maybe commentate and be able to give us a high-level, informative exposure to the game at a high level that we'll never get until later.
I like that. Yeah.
But I would love for the tournament that starts the process of testers being able to play, whatever that tournament is, if it's Evo, I want it to be so hyped up. It's like now it's the chance for them to prove that they should win this, and if they don't, it's a blow up. I just think it would be so hype.
Now I have what I was about to say. I would say ban the testers for the first tournament, only because kind of like how the way the community reacted to the whole situation. Like if the testers were to play during the first tournament, it would kind of discourage people from entering that first tournament. You know, it would make the numbers pretty low.
Bull. Get out
I
of
want to
here.
ask Fly something. You said if the testers don't win Evo, it's a blow up. Neither MK9 nor Injustice were won by a tester. I'm talking about Evolution. PL won it in 2011. KDZ won it after Injustice was released.
Maybe I speak too harshly. I mean, maybe blow up's the wrong word, but I think it would be fun to hype up the return of the testers to the game.
No, I get what you're saying. I can see that being a fun narrative, especially because the testers are probably going to be well-known players, so everybody would be aching to kind of watch them in action.
Well, yeah.
I think, okay, first of all, HomeLee, you're dumb. Testers being
What?
in a tournament or not being in a tournament has a 1% effect on entrance.
You're talking about TYN people that get butthurt about a 4-6 or 5-5 matchup.
Dude,
Those are the
UFG,
people that don't go to tournaments.
yeah, they don't go to tournaments anyways. UFGC
True,
last year
true.
had a huge turnout, even though it was the home of the testers. It was fine. It was no big deal. Also, I think the testers should be allowed to play. I don't think they should be banned. And it's
If there's
because there's no okay.
$20,000 is on the line at a major tournament, first big tournament, and it's you and 16-bit first round.
I'm gonna free them up.
Damn.
First of all, $20,000 isn't on the line, so you have to be
Jack
realistic.
confirmed already knows info about MKX.
Yeah, bro. HomeLee, seriously, next time I see you, I'm gonna fucking punch your eyes, not slant you.
You
Okay.
couldn't find my eyes, bro.
Here's why I think they should play. Okay, I do kind of like Fly's idea of they should be like paid ambassadors. That's kind of cool. That would be an interesting situation where they can show off the game and stuff like that. However, I've never seen that happen with NRS. So assuming that it doesn't, I think they should be allowed to play because there is no, in my opinion, no better teaching aid for people trying to learn the game than getting to watch what the game is actually supposed to look like. When the game comes out, day one, I don't learn anything by fucking dicking around with Fruza in training mode or bodying Panty Christ. That's not me learning the game. Yeah, I learned how to do combos and shit, but what I actually learned was when I got to watch 16-bit and Slips play each other and shit like that, because I got to see how the things were actually supposed to function in the Injustice engine. So I think it's a big deal for the testers to be able to play, for the community to be able to look up YouTube videos of them playing. I think it's a great learning tool, and I don't see any reason why they should be banned.
Well, I agree.
Hold on. Now, if your idea of like NRS or someone sponsoring them not to compete but to be there as ambassadors, show the game off, maybe play some side matches, maybe put on an exhibition, if they are being paid for their time to do that, then that's a different story. Then cool, they can do that. But since I don't think I've ever seen that happen, obviously someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know every fighting game of all time, but if that's not happening, then let them play. It's a good learning tool for everyone.
That was a really good answer, and I retract mine. I apologize, Jack.
Damn, son.
I think there's definitely a conversation to be had, because I think the week-long testers, your Chris G's, your Arturo Sanchez, I think it's harmless ultimately probably to allow them to play in tournament. Maybe not that first. I mean, that Civil War thing was an absolute debacle.
Right.
Rio, Tom, and Arturo playing in that tournament is a huge pack-up. Nevertheless, I think those guys having only 1 week to play the game, I really don't think it's that much of a big of a harm to let them play pretty soon. But guys like 16-bit is interesting because, I mean, yeah, they have a big advantage. Whether or not, obviously they're probably not playing the game at the highest possible level, but they've been playing the game, and sometimes that's just enough. It was controversial to let him play even at UFGT, and I think it's still a question you can raise. But I think that question should be reserved for those kinds of guys, the guys who are there long-term and not the guys who are there short-term. I think the short-term guys, like I said, again, if it's not the week the game released, then yeah, I think, you know what, it's fine. They really only had a week. I mean, unless, you're some sort of demigod that could completely download the game within a week, then all props to you, but I really don't think it's that big of a deal to let those guys do it, but there is a bigger discussion to be had for actual QA testers.
I mean, I think if I had to choose one, I would rather have the ambassador kind of option where we can get a chance to see these high-level players to the point where we're getting the exposure to the game that we need to see it at a high level, to elevate the gameplay, to elevate the tournament level play. But if that's not going to happen, I wouldn't want to just ban them and have them sit at home on their asses and be pissed off that they can't be at the tournament. I'd rather them be there and play. So if I had to choose one, I'd have to go to the extreme either way.
I do see the point of the long-term QA guys versus the short-term guys. That's super valid. I thought about that, and I don't actually know why I didn't bring that up. So I have to give all credit to you because I guess I just forgot because I'm old and Alzheimer-y. But that. Yeah, I guess it's one of those you need to pick, because if that ambassador thing is not a reality, which I've never heard of it, so I'm going to assume it's not, that means I can only choose between one side or the other. And on that note, I'm with you, Fly. If I have to pick one, I would rather, as frustrating as it would be to get bounced out of a major by someone who worked on the game, a month into the game's life or whatever, I would rather have that video footage to look at than not have that video footage to look at, because I would think in the long run it would be more helpful for me and for other players to be able to see it. So if I had to choose, the lesser of two evils in my mind would be to let them play. However, that does not mean I don't think that it should be wiped out as a talking point. I am with Hippo on that. It's definitely something that should be talked about. It shouldn't just be a nothing thing, but my personal opinion, I'd just rather have it.
Yeah, I don't want to control their marketing department and how they do it, but I mean, can you imagine how much better it would be for the people watching the first few MKX major tournaments, the ones that are going to have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of viewers because it's a brand new game. MK brings the hype. It brings the viewers. And have high level discussion with accurate information being discussed with people that have tested the game, played the game, that can offer that kind of dissection. I think that's valuable.
That is cool, but I think the guy that paid $50 to be in the tournament might disagree with you.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
No, Fly's saying as an ambassador.
As an ambassador.
Like not in the tournament.
Yes, as a commentator, kind of like the MLG style, where if you commentate, you don't compete.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no problem with that. I mean, spreading the knowledge is fine, I think, but spreading the knowledge by means of beating you in the tournament is a little.
Well, and what fun is that? I tested the game and now I can body everybody for free and win this PDP tournament. You know what I'm saying?
Who wants to be the bass of the community? You know what I mean?
So then, if that's the case, let's just take that angle. Then, what's the timeline from release? Is it a week? Is it a month? Is it 6 months? What? And then, you know what I mean? Where do you draw the line where you go, you know what? Okay, we feel everyone has had a chance to catch up now.
I think a month is fair.
I feel like if the first regional major is actually a month after release, then that's actually, everyone should be able to compete then.
I say give them three major tournaments, and we could even include regionals in this. Give them 3 high exposure tournaments. By the fourth tournament, testers are in full go, and it's a hype tournament because everybody's there, everybody's ready to test themselves against the testers, and it would just be a fun storyline.
I mean, sometimes though, regional majors are about a month apart, dude. So you're talking about you're don't letting them play for 3 months.
Oh, maybe we make it 2. I'm thinking, I would like the community to be able to see a couple of tournaments on stream before the testers come in, because then you don't have a story, right?
Because you're basically saying they shouldn't play until Evo, if that's your case. It's coming out in April.
Then I retract.
I think honestly, I don't think it's about the number of tournaments. I think it's just about the time. I mean,
within a month, everyone should be able to catch up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, if not completely. I mean, hey, if the usual suspects are the testers and they end up winning after 2 months, that's probably because Chris G is really good at fighting games. Rio's really good at fighting games. It's
True.
not. I don't think it's because of those 4 days they spent in Chicago. So I think a month is fair. I think that should be more than enough for anybody who's really dedicated to the game and as a tournament player to just at least get a hold of the basics of the game, and then after that it's fair game. I think it's better than attributing a number of majors, because then you'd get in the whole debate but this major took place all the way on the East Coast and there was no way I don't know
Let's not get into that.
Yeah, no, but you know what I mean, because not every major was going to be attended by all the testers at least anyway. So I think a certain timeline is better. Plus, I do think, for me personally, from a selfish perspective, as a viewer, why wouldn't I want the testers to be at, say, UFGT? I mean, let's say the testers were banned for Injustice at UFGT. I mean, you're talking about Tom, you're talking about Rio 16-bit. I don't think Rio actually ended up going, but whatever. Perfect Legend Slips. I mean, Arturo. That's a lot of people. Chris G, who actually won it. So you're talking about a lot of people, dude. And you could argue that most of them actually made top 8. Well, I'd argue that most of them would probably have made top 8 anyway. That's A. And B, without them, the level of competition wouldn't have been as. I mean, okay, Hippo mentioned the Civil War debacle, and I'm with him. I don't think the testers should have played then, but I think it would be disingenuous to deny that grand finals that Tom Brady and Rio had was insanely hype. I mean, watching back now, yeah, you'd laugh about the level of gameplay, but for what it was great. It actually made people. That was about the only time the whole community was excited about Injustice in the game's entire lifespan. So I do think, as a showcase of the game, for long-term benefit, I actually think allowing the testers to play, say, a month into the game is better than banning them.
As long as they get to showcase the game at a high level with a focused marketing attempt from NRS. I think that's the only way this works. Otherwise, they shouldn't be banned.
Well, I mean, it's nice, but I really don't think they give two flying craps about marketing to high level.
nor should they.
Yeah.
If you're NRS, nor should they. That's why the ambassador thing's a pipe dream. It would be great, but I mean, that's not where their money comes
I mean,
from.
if out of the goodness of their hearts, the QA testers want to do a stream just talking about the game, all power to them. But I think that's realistically the only way that's going to happen. And I think also, like Cool was saying, it was cool that, especially, and I'm fine again, if it was weak testers like Rio and Tom were, I think at ECT it would have been fine. I think ECT was 3.5 weeks maybe after Injustice came out. Maybe I got the math wrong, maybe. But it wasn't, this Civil War thing, again, it just should never have happened. I think people really should have called people out on that. But it is what it is, you know.
It would not cost them that much, though. I'm trying to think about this. Like, it would be a drop in the bucket.
But I don't think it's about cost. It's about, like...
It's about what they can make out of it.
They don't care.
Yeah.
They may not care, but, you know, if... Anyways, it's the community kind of thing, you know. People in the community would appreciate that, I think, more than they realize. I think it's something they should consider or should care about. Or at least just have a discussion on once for 2 seconds to make me feel better.
To make you feel better.
Make me feel better.
Look, I think it's a great idea. I think it's cool. I mean, let's
right.
be real here. The people that they would be, it would just be a friendly gesture because anyone that's there at UFGT has already bought the game. There's no more money to get out of them.
Yeah, they're not going to listen to this podcast anyways.
All right, well, damn. As far as points are concerned, I don't want to give everything away. I'll just say that for generality's sake, I gave Fly the most points for this segment because while his suggestion might be flawed, he was at least, you know, he gave it the most thought. Yeah. Final question before we actually move to the winners discussion. And I want to make this brief, actually, mainly because Fly has to go to bed soon, but also because this should be tackled in future episodes because this could literally take us 2 hours. As brief as possible, and that goes for you too, Jack. Do you expect the community to evolve and learn from its mistakes come MKX? Because every time, before every release of every game, somebody's going to make that thread like, hey, you know, we have responsibility as tournament players, you know, we shouldn't freak out, we shouldn't cry for patches too early, blah, blah, blah. The usual nonsense that seems to make perfect sense at the time, and then it all gets thrown out. It gets thrown out of the window the first time somebody loses an online set to something they still don't understand yet, and all the complaints begin. So,
yeah, I'll keep it brief. Dean Ambrose, nope.
I agree.
There you go.
I agree.
That's super brief, but yeah. Well, then that makes the answers easy.
Everyone's... It's no chance that, and this is not an NRS community blow up. This is a youth of the world blow up. Too immature, can't handle it. Every forum you go to is a disaster on any video game site or anything. No chance. There will be no change. If anything, it'll be worse because there's more people. No chance.
We're gonna get new whiners.
Yep. I think with the whole variation system, I think honestly, I expect something new. I expect people to go apeshit over mirror matches numbers. Now that there are different variations, it's going to be awful. Hippo, go ahead. You had something to say.
I'm a little less cynical. I think I will wait. And it's all going to come down to those first 2 weeks. If in those first 2 weeks, there's any group of top players, like more than two, or two or more, make what they call, quote unquote, the tier list, then the narrative's already starting to be set and we're done. Because that's exactly what happened in Injustice. You had Rio and Tom make a tier list that got front paged and a whole bunch of crap. People saying, well, I mean, you guys are obviously playing at the highest possible level. Based on what? Based on what? These guys played together in tournament and they won. Big deal. I don't want to hear any narrative set in the first 2 weeks, and if I do, then I truly have no hope. But until then, I'll remain optimistic.
You're super naive for being optimistic. You're ridiculous. I respect your optimism, and I'm super happy internally that there is someone left in this world that is optimistic like you, but you are a naive little duckling, my friend. It's going to be a disaster, just like Injustice.
I think it's going to be almost worse, honestly. Fly.
There's no way. I've been racking my brain about this. How do you figure out with 3 variations of each character where somebody sits in the tier list. Like I can't think about it. It hurts my brain.
So you're saying no chance.
It's like when I tried to find Damascus.
All right, you get an extra point for that.
Or no, what's the city you're from?
Beirut.
No,
Screw that extra point. You're not getting it anymore. HomeLee.
I agree with Jack. Nope.
All right.
I think a lot of people in 2IM are idiots.
It's
And
not just 2IM. Go to any forum, man. The ability to be anonymous on the internet, it's just no chance.
Quote unquote.
And I'm calling it right now.
The Smash threads are nice and welcoming.
Well, whatever. I'm calling it right now. We're going to see plenty of threads about how we're not supposed to repeat the same mistakes, some made by fairly well-known players. It's just like and they're going to fall by the wayside, just like the new leave, just like every single thread that's meant to signify a new start. It's just not going to happen. So save it. Honestly, don't do it. Just say that. Let's just accept that things are going to be terrible. I think it's better. Anyway.
I'm super excited to see the people that sucked in Injustice and hated it. They're just going to end up the same way in MKX.
Yo, it's the return of footsies.
I am incredibly excited about that. I will laugh. I will enjoy. And I hope Rogelio stays like Rogelio's during MKX.
Dude, he's maining Cassie Cage. He announced it to the world. Day one, phenomenal.
The run
Cassie
button
Cage.
scares me a little bit in MKX. Not going to lie.
Nah, you'll be fine. You'll use it to run away from me when I'm bodying you.
Damn!
Uninstigated, sir.
Damn. How do you keep up with them? Anyway, so we've actually reached the end of our scheduled questions, and now we reach the winners discussion. Now, for those of you who were listening to this for the first time, shame on you, but the winners discussion is a winner-take-all question. Now, the 2 leaders will battle it in about 2 minutes each. The guy who earns more points on that question wins the whole thing. Doesn't matter what was your tally up until then. So, sitting in the lead is King Hippo with 22 points. Honestly,
Hubris
he was
is
on
strong.
his game. He actually promised that he was going to make a strong comeback because he wasn't happy with his performance at the last tournament. And unlike CD Jr. in Justice, he actually delivered.
Hippo,
Jack,
I thought you were very strong today, sir.
Thank you.
now, honestly, Hippo was on his game. I think this is merited. So, yeah, I'm giving myself props as a fair host.
He didn't win
Jack,
yet, though. Calm down.
No, he's on the lead. That's all I said. Jack, you are in second place, as
Nice.
you've been for pretty much every podcast so far. And no, it's the truth. Well, you said always a bridesmaid. And
Always the bridesmaid.
Well, your tally's 21 points. Fly, you're third, which means you won't have to host next week. So I think you're quite relieved about that, actually. And you're sitting with 9, 11, 15, 18 points. And HomeLee, dude. It's rough, man.
Bad week.
It's pretty rough. Let's see. It's 6. It's you have a lot of minuses. 5. You have 8 points, dude.
Oh,
Damn.
goodness.
Yo, that's an achievement. That's an achievement.
Achievement unlocked.
Yeah, lowest point total ever.
Yeah, achievement unlocked. Shiva tier. That's what it's called.
Do
So-
Asians play golf?
Yeah, they do, man.
Only rich Koreans do.
Some of them are good though.
All right, so we get to the winners discussion, and this is going to be controversial, probably not though. And here's the question: hey, you guys, are you ready? Somebody's making noises. I hope it's neither.
That was me.
Oh well,
I'm good now.
way to show that you're ready. All right,
I was moving my glass.
all right. As the leader, do you elect to go first or second?
I'll go first.
You'll go first. All right. Excluding Sonic Fox. For those of you who are going to object, my question, my rules. I'm excluding him. Excluding Sonic Fox. Out of the 3 NRS EVO champions, meaning Perfect Legend, Denzel Terry, and KDZ, who would you give the best chance to win another EVO within the next couple of years? Go.
All right. Well, first I want to ask, is this an EVO? Does it have to be an NRS game?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. 3 letters. Or actually, you know what? Let's go to 5 words. DJT. Yep. Damn. Denzel Terry has consistently proven himself one of the best players NRS has ever produced. This guy has been in top 8, I think, in every EVO of, except for, I think, EVO 2012. I think he's been in the top 8 of every single NRS game. Guy consistently proves himself at majors and when it matters the most. He always picks a good character, and he just does work. Somehow he magically does it despite not going to that many majors in Injustice. I have no idea how he did it, but this guy clearly has proven to be one of the best players that we have, and I would not be shocked at all if he comes in and wins it all one of these days in EVO. I mean, his EVO 2013 performance might have been the most impressive Mortal Kombat performance we've ever seen. He ran through the gamut, and he came out unscathed. The guy is a champion.
All right. Well, Saucy Jack, that's kind of hard to follow. Do your best, sir.
It's doubly hard to follow because, of course, King Hippo, as usual, stole my answer, so I will be the contrarian. I cannot believe these words are coming out of my mouth, but Carl Winslow, Perfect Legend White, is going to be your next NRS Evolution Champion, and I will tell you why. I understand that DJT is a master of footsies. I understand that DJT is extremely patient. I understand that DJT leans on his brother Malik for matchup knowledge. But what DJT does not have is 2 Evolution Championships in NRS games. Also, Carl Winslow, Perfect Legend White, has an Evolution Championship in DOA as well. 3-time Evolution Champion. I know DJT is good. You cannot win EVO if you are not. But Carl, for whatever reason, when EVO comes around in a Mortal Kombat game, is a goddamn wrecking ball. He is a force to be reckoned with. Everyone doubted that motherfucker after he 2-4 low-hatted his way to his first Evolution Championship. Everyone said this dude's a bill. He's just doing garbage low-hat block strings, and he's teleporting all over the place. He's going to get freed up, and you know what he did? He shut everyone the fuck up, and he won that goddamn thing again. So DJT is solid. He's great, and there may be another Evolution Championship in his future, but until you have 3 belts like the true NRS King, get the fuck out of here. Carl White.
He has 1 belt.
He actually lost the other one, or something like that.
He broke a trophy, I think.
He broke.
Actually.
There's so many he can break one and not care.
I am not a Perfect Legend fan. I know that's not a surprise, but I legitimately felt really bad when he broke his trophy. Like, that has to be heartbreaking. I'm looking at my fucking Naptown Clutch trophy, and I'm like, God, if I broke that, I'd be emo. Could you imagine breaking your EVO trophy?
Yeah.
I legit felt bad for him.
But if you won
luckily he has
Naptown,
another one.
if you won Naptown 3 times, though, would you care?
What's up, Fly?
So if you won Naptown 3 times, though, would you care if one of them broke?
Yeah. Yeah, man, a trophy's a trophy, dude. Trophies are awesome. Who wants it to break?
I mean, yeah, you care, but is it like the end of the world? Nah.
I'd be emo.
As I said, luckily he has another one, and if Fly is to be if Hippo, if
oh my
Ken is
God,
to
have you been
believe-
drinking, sir?
Yeah.
It's way too early in the morning to be doing that. I think it's just a lot.
Is it
of
really?
sleep.
Yeah, is it? It's 5 o'clock somewhere, bro.
Dude. I've literally had like an hour of sleep. Come on, man. Anyway, actually, I'll give you this, Fly. No, I'm joking. I did that on purpose. I'll give this, Jack. Despite having an uphill battle and a mountain to climb after Hippo's answer, you almost convinced me, honestly, because I am a believer in Perfect Legend as far as his skill goes. I don't care about anything else he does, but as far as his gameplay, I think the dude is a genius. I think he's really good, even though he has no scene, which he makes sure to remind us of about 11 times per day on Twitter. He knows how to get into training mode, pick his character, and if he finds that high mobility Perfect Legend character, dude, God help us, because he is really good at doing that. However, I think having a high level brother to play against on a daily basis. right? Well, I'll just declare King Hippo as the winner then, since you went there. But, no, honestly, I think having a high-level brother to train against on a daily basis who can challenge you and push you and allow you to grind up matchups, especially in a game like MKX, which, by all accounts, probably will be matchup-heavy, given all the variations. And the fact that his fundamentals are so good, I think, and I'm not elitist. I don't think it's all about fundamentals. I think having the ability to kind of really push a character to the limit and kind of overwhelm people can be equally as rewarding as we've seen. But
so your argument,
I'm a believer in.
Hold on.
So
your argument is, since he has a brother who's also playing the game at the high level, at a super high level, and they get to train together, that's going to lead him to victory?
I think that surely increases his chances, yes. I think,
You're right, Carl has 2 and DJT has 1. You're right. I guess Malik just wasn't in the house for the first 2 years. You're dumb.
Can I say something?
Your argument sucks.
I'm not in this argument, but I just read...
Hold on. Yeah, go ahead, Fly, but I'll reply to that in a second. Go ahead, Fly.
I just want to... This is very relevant to the point. I just happened to click on last week's episode thread, and who other than just posted but MITDJT 14 minutes ago. He said, I really need to listen to these. But anyways, about scenes, Vegas has 6 Evo medals with 2 players, and we don't even have a scene other than us. Yep. Damn. MKX needs to come faster.
That's actually a awesome post. These guys, we give them props in the first episode. I think they're ridiculously good, and I think it's quite astounding that they have so many medals. We're talking about 2 players, and that's it. As far as Saucy Jack's point, no, honestly, listen, I think as the community in general has improved at fighting games, having offline competition has proven to be more and more important. I think this has been proven with a lot of things that DJT was able to do, say, at EVO 2013, like interrupting Cabal's pressure with full combos, the patience he shows. I mean, his results on Injustice, which are more recent and more relevant because of their recency, are better than PL's. So I am a firm believer in PL. I think it's super close. It wouldn't shock me one bit if he's the one to do it. In fact, here, I'll make this prediction. If one of them was probably going to win this upcoming EVO, I think PL would have a better chance because he's better at breaking down a game sooner. However, I don't think either of them will win it, and I think the next year DJT would have a better chance. Again, I applaud your resiliency, but hey, I think Hippo earned that win. I'm sure you're a good sport, Jack.
Yep. Always the bridesmaid. Also,
I don't mean for that to be your gimmick here, by the way. I'm sure you'll win the big one of these days.
Nah, it won't happen. My whole point was your argument sucked, and you need to apologize for that.
But then I explained myself.
No, and your explanation didn't acknowledge your argument at all. Your argument was DJT's better because he lives with Malik. Well, where was that the first 2 EVOs? Where was that the first 2 EVOs?
I explained to you where was that at the first 2 EVOs. I think first of all, who's to say that DJT was as good a fighting game player back then as he is now? I think it's reasonable to assume.
Wait. DJT got top 8 at the first. What do you
Absolutely.
Yeah, but he didn't win.
And then he won EVO.
Hold on. The question was who was
hold on.
going to win.
All right, no. But let me respond to Hippo. He got top 8, then he won it, which means he was improving. That doesn't mean he wasn't great then, he was, but obviously he improved as a player the more he played the game and as he just improved. This dude is young, by the way.
How old is he?
Gotta be early 20s.
Early 20s. So obviously, how old was he in the first EVO? I don't think he was even 20 back then. So it was remarkable that he made top 8. But remember, he didn't make top 8 in the next EVO, and then he won it the next year. So obviously he was improving. To me, that argument makes sense. We're only predicting here, but I think you can actually see tangible improvement in DJT's gameplay. I think, in fairness, he was playing Sub-Zero and then he moved to Cyrax, so that helps. But it's not like he was going exclusively Sub-Zero either. I just think both the Perry brothers have improved as fighting game players, and that's not to say they weren't great to begin with. They were awesome. They just got more awesome. That's all I'm saying.
Are we done with this nonsense?
Dude, you sound salty. Don't take it out on me.
I think TJT's going to win. I just wanted to be a contrarian. I said that. I'm being forced to argue a point that I don't even like.
All right.
And you called me dumb because of it. You're like
because
Jackson.
because you're dude. I cannot wait until you go back and listen to the podcast. Your fucking crown in your jewel point was he gets to train at home with MIT all the time, which is not a good argument because he got to train at home with MIT all the time for the first 2 EVOs, which Perfect Legend won.
But they're better fighting game players now. So, I mean, it's not solely based on the fact that he's training with MIT. But once you combine that they're more experienced as fighting game players, that they've learned how to break down games faster, probably, and that we have a better training mode now, we have frame data. Keep in mind, we didn't have frame data for the first EVO. Come on, now, dude. I'll stop. Whatever. Anyway.
I'm just glad we finally got some contrarian stuff because we all agreed too much. I actually think DJT's going to win, but, it wasn't going to be fun.
That would have been very anticlimactic if you both said DJT.
Dude, Hippo has heard me behind the scenes with some other stuff. I'm sure Hippo realizes how emo I am that I just had to fervently argue for Carl anything.
Shout-outs to middle name Winslow.
Yeah.
Where did you come up with the Winslow part?
Oh, that's right. You're not from here. Don't worry about it.
All right. Well, I'll believe you.
Can I get my 30 seconds?
No.
You get a minute, actually, so go ahead. Jack, stop being salty. Shut up. Go ahead, Hippo.
Our thread today was a great success, I think. The thread for our...
great success.
I wouldn't say today, but I would say it was the thread for our second episode. Went well. However, it was taken over by a lot of garbage that was moderated. And I just want to take a minute to address it because I guess in some way I can understand Claude Von Stroke's bit of angerness, I just said, is anger towards what he feels is the quote-unquote dick writing. But I had a serious problem with something he posted where he said, I'm going to KIT solely to hang out with other people besides the East Coast guys because hardly anyone ever comes to our tournaments outside the East Coast, and it's bullshit. Well, I would say that, yes, in normal circumstances, yes, a little goofy. However, the truth is that your top TO banned 2 of the most popular players from their tournament. They are not allowed to step into the building. And therefore, people can't get as good of an experience as they might get, and so they've chosen not to attend. I don't think it's any propaganda. I think it's just the facts. You ban 2 players from coming to your tournament, and you are not going to get a good response. So I hope you enjoy reaping what they have sown, but it's the truth. And I'm sorry that the tournaments aren't well attended. I'm sorry that people don't put a lot of stock in them, but that is the cold, hard truth. Now, that will change probably with MKX. It's not over and done with, but with Injustice, you have wrecked something that was good, and it's not anyone's fault but your own. And by that, I mean your own TO. So please, do with that what you will. That's all I wanted to say.
I am happy Hippo won. I think I've made a very wise choice. I think you spoke for all of us when you mentioned that. Can I just add that banning one of them was not... What's that?
Is that ISIS in the background? What the hell?
Yeah, who's got a jet going off?
Not me. We don't have jets around here. Or camels.
Damn.
Keep in mind, banning 16-bit is not just banning 16-bit. You just banned GGA because it's not like his teammates are going to go. So you just potentially lost up to 8 players for your tournament. So, there's that. Anyway, you guys want to wrap this up? You guys want to let this ride and in the free-for-all segment, what do you guys want to do? Fly, it's your call.
I mean, yeah, free-for-all, man, unless Fly really needs to run.
No, we can hit it up for like 10, 15 minutes.
Dude,
awesome.
Hippo, you were on point today, buddy.
I tried.
Yeah. A deserved winner, I think.
Yeah, you had some strong points. Your mic was fixed. You were ready to go.
I was ready this time.
Did you take a poop pre-show instead of during the show today?
I took a massive post-show or pre-show dump. I mean, I really let it all out. I had a nice chicken cordon bleu dinner.
Nice.
I had some empanadas. I let it all out. And when I got in here, I was ready to roll.
Feeling a little more aerodynamic, 5 pounds lighter than last week?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, that's fair.
I also moved positions. I'm now sitting upright, which makes me far less cranky.
That's fair. HomeLee, what's your excuse for today?
I honestly apologize for the poor showing.
8 points, man.
dude.
8 points.
I don't know, man. Like, I saw the topics that, like, Cole posted in the chat, and I was just like, I really don't know what to say about those.
Well, make some. That's kind of why we actually post the questions beforehand.
Yeah, so
I do. I was sitting at work thinking about what to say, and I could not think of anything. Like that male, female, I was just like, what the fuck is that about?
How about searching on PYM? There's a search feature.
I can't really go on the internet at work.
huge backup, HomeLee. You're an embarrassment.
Yep.
You dishonor my family.
Dishonor my cow.
Damn.
Well, I think next time, HomeLee, you should post some questions that you think you want to talk about. Because I think...
Well, I did post one, but Cool Whip ignored it.
Which
one?
Well,
hold on.
It was the whole, if someone doesn't play a certain character, should they be allowed to talk about that character?
I didn't see that question at all.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man, thank God we brought it up, because I was talking about TH2 at the highest possible level.
Yo, be nice to the huggable Tay Bear, okay? He knows all about Green Lantern's
I don't have any malice towards the guy. I'm just saying, if you don't play the game, shut up.
I guess we'll use that as a next topic or something.
That's not just THQ. That is a lot of that on TYM.
In fact, I will make my proclamation right here. When I return as host, that will be one of the top questions I will ask.
Yes.
There you go.
I like
and
that.
hopefully, if you don't win that question,
you might need to pack up that yak and move on.
Oh man, yeah. That topic. I'm with you. That irritates the fuck you. The people that don't play the game. This goes hand in hand with a little bit what we talked about last week. The whole I'm not having fun, so I'm gonna fucking break your toy bullshit. No one's having fun. It's the same concept, man. If you're not involved, like, what the hell are you doing? I don't want to hear some washed up Grundy player who hasn't even looked at his Injustice disc in a year telling me about the problems that Grundy has. You don't know. You don't fucking play the game.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
No, not you. Not
Okay.
you. Not you. Grundy was just an example. It could have been any character, because every character has it. Every single one, there's at least one person in that community that wants to run their mouths and they don't even play the goddamn game. It's fucking dumb.
I'm just saying, at the highest possible level, they probably know what they're doing. Like,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All about Green Lantern's mobility.
Are they backdashing out of pressure? That's my question. That's
oh
the thing.
my god!
Are they optimizing damage?
Do you remember one of the great UK quotes? Foxy Grandpa. I don't understand why aren't they backdashing the lasers of Superman on reaction? It's so bloody easy. I'm like, all right. What Jagoff is doing laser sweeper and laser blast, and it consistently going up. Here comes a blast, backdash. Here comes a laser, backdash. Here's a hint. No one.
Let me tell you, as a Superman player, whenever I see someone even trying to do that, let me tell you what I'm thinking. Thanks for the free meter, bro, because you're just staying full screen. You're accomplishing nothing. And guess what? Within 2 or 3 lasers, you're getting hit by one anyways because you fucked up the timing.
I mean, Superman can't really hit you if you don't move.
Yeah. well, I just down 3 underneath.
I'm
you just don't understand.
I'm sorry that 12 gauge wasn't up to snuff. Like Superman was broken. Yeah. All right, for a reason. Like, come on, guys. Like, I don't like that the UK firmly feels they're so far ahead of everyone. For what reason, really?
I don't understand why you Americans are so free to command grab. Why are you letting Cyrax command grab you like that? Why are you so bloody free to it?
Man.
Let's actually say that.
You both are so good at the voice. How do you do that?
I mean, I'm actually Foxy.
Yeah, I mean, if he's like down free, then like that's how it is. It's just how they talk.
Fly, you like that Irish accent?
The Irish accent?
That wasn't Irish at all.
That's dude. That's the joke. Fly is all about geography. Come on, dude. Come on. Give me some.
I'm
credit.
actually with Hippo. I didn't realize you were going there either. Bad delivery. -2 points.
Excuse me if you fail to detect sarcasm. That's on you, buddy.
I'm already putting on my hostly duties, and I might ban.
Oh my goodness.
I want to say something about the UK as an international player myself.
Right.
Okay, I firmly believe Foxy Grandpa is a very good player. Like, I think, honestly, if he lived in the US, I think he'd be one of those semi-consistent top 8 players at worst. Honestly, that's how I feel. I think when he got to EVO, I think it was a pretty good showing. He didn't make top 8. Obviously, he hyped himself so much that anything other than top 3 would have been a blow-up, and for that, I understand. I don't want to revisit the whole, he fell, debacle. Sucks
Right.
about his luck. But, he still beat Rio, he still beat Tom Brady. He got, 13th, which, he got ahead of a lot of really good, consistent top 8 placers in the U.S. So, we can't deny him that much. He proved to be a good player. A very good player, actually. But as far as theory fighting, the thing with Foxy is, it's true that he was right about some things back in MK9, like, Johnny Cage being good and Sonya being good. But I think sometimes that overrides a lot of the inaccuracies he states, which, that they didn't solve with Injustice. Wonder Woman was supposed to be the cabal of the game. That was a direct quote. I don't remember if it was he or it was him or Used for Glue who actually said that. But, Foxy was actually... the theory fighting on their part, it's not so much just that it's the theory fighting, it's the condescending delivery that kind of gets to me. Listen, you guys, I'm not sucking up, but you guys are not idiots. You all have offline scenes, you're playing the game daily, you're grinding it out. That doesn't necessarily make you always right, but going like, oh, we all know the UK dominates in the first year of the game. Foxy actually said that. Dominate what? You're not traveling to the US in the first year of the game. How could you even claim that? So the idea that, oh, their level is so much superior initially is unfounded as far as I'm concerned. I think Foxy's a tremendous player. I think Glue is really good at actually kind of breaking down characters too. But this whole idea of your being, it's almost like they're mentally superior. Like they're more capable at absorbing and analyzing info. That's how they come off, at least. I don't know if I'm being harsh, and that part annoys me. I'm not saying they're good or bad. I'm just saying how they come off. It's kind of annoying. It's condescending and douchey.
I think you're absolutely right. I actually don't think Foxy's that bad of a player at all. Probably. I don't think anyone is even stating that they're bad. I think the problem is they're not as they're not gods compared to everybody else, so the condescending tone does need to step down a bit. Do you remember there was a thread from Used for Glue talking about punishes for, I can't even remember, 2-4 low hat, like post, Kung Lao post everything, 2-4 low hat. And he's like, well, Melina can get a throw, but that's not really a punish.
Yeah, I remember that.
And because it's
he said the same about Scarlet, actually.
Because it's 12%. That's not really a punish. And it's like, what universe is that not a punish? Like, you knock them down and you manage to get them away from you. You have successfully got someone on the hip and have switched positions. How is that not? It was insane.
Everyone has their own definition, and apparently, if you weren't doing 40%, it wasn't a punish.
Well, yeah, it's if you said it's not a full combo punish, then sure. But
of course, yeah.
But it's still a throw. Nobody goes like, oh well, just got thrown. No big deal.
A punish is a punish. Like, if Green Lantern does a full distance lift and Green Arrow blocks it, all Green Arrow can do at full distance is slide, but it's still a punish.
Well, throws can be tech though as well. It's kind of like a tech roll setup. It's not.
Well, no, the throw can't be punished. That was the point. Or the throw can't be tech. It's a punish.
Okay.
Based on the frame data, but
you're at negative frames. You're still in the cover.
Man. But it is what it is. In the end. Bad about it. Sad's probably the wrong word, but what's so weird about it is, Foxy contributed a shitload to Wonder Woman, and it's a shame that part of his legacy is going to go down as being a dick, because a lot of the stuff that Foxy said was really good. I have to give him props for that. Like, his understanding of Wonder Woman seemed pretty on point, and he contributed a lot of tech, and it would have been great if a lot of people could have played him, but there's no way that after the first year of Injustice, you can't just wipe that out with his silence of the last year,
I still picture him with a bandage on his head.
That's fucked up.
That is, you might need to apologize.
Yeah, I would apologize right now.
Yeah, actually, about that, what's funny about that? I tuned in for the stream. It was like 5 a.m. in the morning here. I just gotten back, and I tuned in for that US versus UK stream. I was so excited. And I see Foxy looking like Tupac. I wasn't quite aware what happened. I thought it's Foxy's style. I was like, well, that's terrible.
It's exactly what happened to me.
So you weren't aware what went on, right?
Not when I first saw the stream. I was just like, why is I don't know. I was surprised.
I remember 16-Bit and Pig were on commentary, and they kept saying, like, that's dedication. He went right out of the hospital, and now he's playing Mortal Kombat. And I thought it's some sort of twisted joke or something. I couldn't get what was going on. So, I think I read it on TYM later or something. I don't know. Oh, yeah, I remember going on TYM to look up what happened to Foxy, and all I can see is 16-Bit popping off about GTA beating the UK guys pre the whole UK versus USA exhibition. They played the GTA guys, and apparently Dizzy beat all 5 of them or something, and 16-Bit was going ape shit about it. And that he was wrestling some jimmies, actually. I don't remember who was the guy that said, this is going to be free, and why is GTA deserving of playing these guys? Who was it?
Temjin.
Yeah, Temjin.
I don't even know who that is. And
he's a UK reptile player.
16-Bit just went ape shit. That was hilarious.
I think he probably had to apologize for that, I think.
Well, didn't they have a camera crew following them around, Ketchup and Mustard and those guys?
Yeah, there was a documentary.
Dude, Temjin, real rap.
I don't know. I like those guys. I like the UK guys. I mean, yeah, there's some condescending tones here and there, but at the end of the day, I think it's all fun. I approve of condescension in certain situations.
Not in that one, though. Although I will say I really like Foxy. I think whenever he posts, I'm like, oh, cool, Foxy's posting. And I agree with Jack. I think if he was somehow in the US in the first year of Injustice, I do think he would have been the best Wonder Woman player. I have no doubt about that. But, I mean, after that, he just stopped playing the game. And then at that point, I don't mean that in a negative way, but he became irrelevant as far as, current high-level Injustice gameplay. Although if you believe some people live in Europe, you guys are not playing it at a high enough level. You're not backdashing out of pressure.
You just don't understand. Anytime back earlier to you with the jump 2, you just backdash.
The glue trap is so good.
I mean, to be fair, none of it is as bad. I mean, it's euphemism.
Euphemisms posts give me ocular aids.
I'm sure he's a fine young chap, but the real talk is every time you say you don't care about doing well, but then mention in the same time that you can't slightly hint at that you can't afford to come to the United States. I'm reading between the lines, and I'm just. You think we're all bad, and no one is going to stand for that. So it's like when your avatar little thing gets blown up for helping people in the matchup. It's not that. It's when you say that Batgirl's 50-50 can be fuzzy guarded, which that's just blatantly false, by the way.
Right.
And it's not even true. A fuzzy guard would imply that you can block low. A fuzzy guard is blocking low to avoid Catwoman's back 1 while simultaneously on reaction blocking her back 2 because it's slower. And then you can just hold up, and then it'll hit. That's a fuzzy guard. This is the same speed moves getting hit at the same time. It's a guess. It is not a fuzzy guard. So you're saying incorrect things and then getting mad when people regulate. It's like you're literally spreading misinformation.
And then there's the whole grammar police thing.
Oh yeah,
I think
we
really
talked about
Foxy?
that.
That sounds like true talent.
No,
that's euphemism.
It's euphemism.
Oh, euphemism. My bad. I'm like
shout outs to a true talent reference.
Yeah,
I hate
the
that
HomeLee.
I hate that True Talent's avatar is like a blatant reskin of that Blur cover album. Have you ever seen that?
Woohoo! Shout outs to track number 2 by Blur.
I got my head checked.
God, that was awful. I remember there was an old FIFA game. Well, we kind of value soccer over here, so I think it was like FIFA 2000 or something, and that was a soundtrack, and I used to play the shit out of that game, but I had to deal with that stupid song every single time. Dude, it was like honestly, it was a punish to use. It was like, okay, you want to throw low hats? I'll throw you. That's what it was. Every time I tuned that fucking game, dude, it was, oh god. By the way, speaking of fuzzying, can we talk about how everybody on TYM has the reflexes of a Jedi? Because seriously, that shit is unbearable.
Yeah.
I recently had.
Jack, did anyone take you up on your free money challenge?
No, we are it's November 18th as of this recording, 1:49 a.m. Central Standard Time.
It is 2:49 for me.
East Coast. And no, not one person in this entire community has taken me up on that free money 50-50 challenge. I guess maybe everyone was full of shit. I'm not positive, but it seems to me that everyone just wants to be cool online, and they can't actually block these 50-50s.
Take
that they
a
claim
chance.
they can.
Is pissed, dude. Take a chance is absolutely pissed at what you
What?
just said.
I was like, where?
I mean, take a chance as a Nightwing player. The Nightwing players were the ones who were the maddest at me, and yet, not one of them would do it. You know why? I know what happened. None of them will admit it, but we all know what happened. There were some top players who doubted me as well, and then they tried it, and they got fucking bodied because it's not possible. So I'm sure what happened is they all said, fuck this Saucy Jack guy, I'll handle this. And they went to one of their training partners, and they tried it, and they got mopped up in the lab. And they were like, oh, shit, we were wrong. Get out of here. I don't even want to hear
So for those who don't know, listening at home, make sure that you describe what you're talking about.
Okay, so on Test Your Might, and by the way, I'm sure this is not NRS exclusive. I'm sure every fighting game has this, but there's a lot of characters that have overhead and low 50-50s, and I made a thread that I just titled "I'm giving away free money" because people on the forums constantly say that they can block, so and so's overhead or low on reaction. So I made a thread that said you can come up to me at any tournament for the entire year. Anyone that I'm at, message me ahead of time if you want. We'll figure out a time. If I'm not at the tournament, I'll have someone do it for me as my representative. I'll know someone there, whatever. You go to the lab. I listed 4 different characters. Wonder Woman's 50-50, Killer Frost 50-50, Batgirl's 50-50, and Nightwing's 50-50. They all have an overhead and a low. I said, we're going to go to the lab. I'm going to do this 30 times. I will even allow you human air, which I shouldn't have, by the way. That was me being super nice. But I said I will allow human air, and you can miss the block 5 times. But if you don't block it 25 out of 30 times, you have to make a thread on 2IM saying, I apologize, Saucy Jack was right, I can't block this shit, I lied. If you were right, though, I would give you $20. So basically, it was free money because everyone says, LOL, Nightwing standing 2 versus... Do you remember in that thread that everyone wouldn't even believe me that the 50-50 I was going to use was Nightwing standing 2 versus Ground Pound? They kept saying, no, man, just do this other one. I'm like, dude, you guys can't see this. And everyone blew me up. But we are now almost a year since I made that thread, and not a single person has come to earn their free $20. I don't understand it. It's free money.
Well, standing 2 hits all the time.
Yeah, no shit, because the startup looks just like Ground Pound.
Hits all the time.
Yeah, I'm really, really, really sorry. You know what?
Maybe Balding will take you up on that challenge. He says he can react to Killer Frost 50-50.
Yeah, I'm sure he can.
Balding also says like Cyborg goes, even with Aquaman.
Yeah, he was going to NEC to prove it, and M Today was calling him out on this. I don't know what happened with that. Is he actually going to NEC?
Who knows? Is he old enough to go to NEC?
I don't know.
Sure. Well, I mean, there's no age limit. It's not like...
No. Like, is he old enough to travel is the question.
Yeah.
Like, is that traveling? Where is he even from?
I don't know. I don't even know if he's a real person.
He might be from parts unknown, like the Ultimate Warrior.
Like the Ultimate Warrior.
Guys. What are you guys talking about? Everybody is welcomed at NEC.
That's true.
Oh, wait.
Well, I mean, let's not get too carried away. Hey, this has been Consider the Following. Hey, guys, we all love NEC, right? hey.
Did you guys watch Interstellar?
Oh, my God.
Yes. Great movie. Great flick.
Jack, you didn't?
I have not, no.
Oh,
nope.
Man.
I haven't either.
Did you know, though, at AMC theaters, for the price range of $19.99 to $34.99, You can buy a ticket and watch Interstellar as much as you want until it's out of the theaters.
Why?
I mean,
Because it's that fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, it's one of those films you have to see more than once. That's for sure. Just like Inception, just like pretty much.
Yeah,
all
it's like
those-
I think I've seen Inception 4 times, and every time it's gotten better because I see
Absolutely.
something I didn't catch.
I'm glad somebody else liked it. 'Cause I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of Inception, so I'm not looking forward to Interstellar. Yeah, I'm not. a huge fan.
Damn.
it's a
I
very
thought it was
smart
awesome.
movie.
I think the thing about Nolan is, even if I
He's
can
a
understand if he's
genius.
not your. I agree with you. I'm a huge Mark, so I'm not even. I'm probably way too biased, but he might as well be called GGA Nolan.
Are you,
But-
are you shilling for Nolan right now?
Yeah, just call him GGA Nolan, dude. I mean, come on. But the idea is, even if he's not your cup of tea, you kind of have to appreciate his creativity and innovation, willingness to actually take risks.
Well,
And
Yeah, I'm actually not going to fault him because I actually think he's a pretty good director. It's not really his fault. I'm more of a fault with his brother because his brother's the
Oh,
one
his
writing
brother.
the scripts. And
Yeah.
I mean, in Inception, basically, there's no character. Like, none of those characters pop. And that's a problem with his movies in general. And his earlier ones, like Memento and Insomnia, were great. Those are
Memento is awesome. Memento's
Yeah,
a masterpiece.
those are some great movies. But I think when they started getting bigger and bigger budget, they became really about the concept. Like, except for Dark Knight, because Dark Knight's an entity unto its own.
Mhm.
But though, like, Inception to me is about a concept, and it leaves very little room for actual characterization. So to me, as cool as that idea is and the way it was filmed,
Well,
No,
the
because-
idea behind Inception wasn't more so characters besides Cobb. It was more movie on theories, like the theory of dreaming. You know.
yeah, I know, but I don't want to. I want to see why. Like, why should I watch that movie? I might as well watch a documentary about that. If the movie's got to engage me on some
I mean,
level, and I just
That's
Interstellar.
why the actors with pretty faces are for.
Interstellar has really good character development, in my opinion. I felt really attached to
At
Matthew
least 3 of
McConaughey's
them.
character and his family.
and maybe it does. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying from my experience, like with Inception,
Yeah.
Inception was the exact opposite. It was very cold, and no character really stuck out that much.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, like literally, Joseph Levitt-Gordon's character was there to
Yeah.
explain the plot. Literally, he
And even
explained
Ellen
every
Page.
situation.
Ellen Page was supposed to represent the viewer who doesn't really understand what's going on, so she asks the dumb question you're wondering as the other character kind of explained it to her. I love the film, by the way, but I'm with you that it doesn't have much in terms of character development. I think every character in the film was there to kind of serve the plot or the idea of the film rather than...
Yeah, which to me, like as a guy who has always loved creative writing and stuff like that, they tell you that is bad. That is straight up bad. Characters should not exist to move the plot. So to
Well, I'm
me,
pretty sure you'll like Interstellar. It's
I'm
not like
hoping,
Inception.
like I said, I'm generally a fan of his direction. It's more so his brother's screenwriting. Like his brother wrote the screenplay for Man of Steel, which I didn't think was too hot either. Same problem. A lot of characters just struck a really flat chord. It's just a problem that he has in general, and I hope they'll fix. I mean, because again, I love the directing and stuff like that, but it's the screenwriting that his brother does, and I just can't really.
Is it a blow up that I've never seen Man of Steel?
No.
No, because that wasn't that great of a movie. You haven't missed out on
I
much.
liked it. I
Is it a
liked it.
blow up that I've never seen Inception?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
It is, even Hippo
Yeah.
would say that's a blow up.
You need
still
to
have
see
to
it.
see
Yeah.
it.
I would
Jack-
think because that movie was so hyped up when it came out, I can very easily see someone just being like that.
Yeah, that's
Well,
why. That's why.
the
I
thing
was
was
like,
when-
get out of here. Everyone's jerking off to
When
this.
I saw Inception, I actually didn't hear anything about it. I saw like one trailer and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And I just didn't look anything into it. And I was like, "Oh, it's directed by Christopher Nolan. I'm gonna go watch it."
Once,
I mean,
That
To be
sounds
fair,
like
fucking-
HomeLee.
You saw the trailer and you were like, "Bwah."
Yeah, I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
once
Yeah.
fucking, bad fucking rappers started saying shit like, your mind be blown like Inception. I was like, nope, not seeing this movie. Nope.
Dude,
Oh, man.
you are missing out. It's one of my favorite movies of all
It's a good
time.
movie. Interstellar,
It's-
though, I like the storytelling behind it. It was
Inter-
so complex.
Interstellar hits you right in the feels. You're just like, "Damn."
In the
Okay.
field.
Before-
In the
Before
feels.
we wrap this package like Lord of the Fly at a whorehouse, I have a question for everybody.
Whoa, this is
Whoa,
a married
what?
man.
Whoa, what? You
That's a
said
married
that?
man. You
Right.
can't say
You
that.
said
man.
that.
Wrapped.
Since I just asked if it was a blow up, that I haven't seen Inception, I'm now curious. Roundtable discussion. What is a movie each person has not seen that you think it's a blow up that you haven't seen it? Like you think people would be like, "What?" Starting with HomeLee.
Oh man, that's a blow up. Hold on, can I skip my turn? I have a list of movies I gotta go through.
All right, Hippo.
You're gonna go to IMDb's top.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
I have a big one. Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Oh, whoa! That is Marvel's best film to date.
Yeah.
You need to go watch it.
Didn't see it.
Didn't
All right,
see it either.
That's a good entry. Oh,
But-
cool too. Okay.
No, but I think I have one better. Any
Alright.
Star Wars film ever. Never seen
That's
it.
a
Don't care.
huge-
That's a big pack
That's,
up.
you
don't even.
cannot let that go.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
even saying that you need to be like a Star Wars fanboy. I'm not. I'm just like a middle of the road. Like they're cool or whatever. But to have never seen any of them, I agree. That's a big pack up.
I
Fly?
don't care much for it for some reason.
I've never seen Titanic.
That's
I've
not
also-
a blow up.
I've also never seen Titanic.
Actually, a blow up. I agree. It's a blow up.
To blow up.
Why is it a blow up?
It's the highest. It was for a
Yeah.
time period the highest grossing movie ever made. Everyone saw it. Literally everyone saw it
Except me and Fly.
except Fly.
I haven't
And
seen
Ken.
it either. I haven't seen it either.
Blow up.
I saw it.
I know how it ends.
I heard something about it too, and
Yeah.
I actually have
Yet-
a funny story, but go ahead.
I was gonna say that would not be my entry. I've got a bigger blow up on my list that I haven't seen. HomeLee, have you got through your list yet?
Still thinking.
God, can you do anything? Jesus,
No, I'm having a
Christ.
bad day. I'm sorry.
I've not seen Forrest Gump.
oh,
That is a blow up.
one of my all-time faves.
Yeah, I've heard that is a huge pack up, and I need to retire from life. I've heard that is my biggest pack up of having not seen a movie.
But that's such an
But in
easy
fairness-
fix. It's so good.
I'm going to make my argument, and I know that it'll still be a blow up, but at least I'll make my argument. The reason I've never seen it is because at the time, if you recall, for us older gents, this was so me and Fly. But anyways, this was the era where as long as someone in the script had something wrong with them mentally, they were going to win an Academy Award. Like, there was like this era where it was just happening, and I was like, dude, I'm not down for another one. Get out of here. And I'm not watching it.
But it was the best one.
No, Forrest Gump shouldn't have won an award, by the way.
Damn. Fight.
Dude, that was on the same. Hold on, Pulp Fiction and Shawshank Redemption were got released in the
okay.
same year. You're gonna tell me
I
Forrest
have a
Gump is a better
blow-up
film
then.
than Pulp Fiction? You
Shawshank
haven't seen
is-
Pulp Fiction.
Shawshank's not like.
I've got a couple blow-ups then.
All right. Oh no.
I'll
Are you gonna just
I'll
start
go with three.
listing?
I'm gonna go with 3. I haven't
Alright.
seen Pulp Fiction.
Oh my
Man.
god,
That's a blow up.
Huge pack.
that's the
I
biggest
have-
blow up so far, I think.
I haven't seen Shawshank Redemption.
That's a huge.
Wow.
What is
Oh
wrong
my
with you?
God.
I guess with the Sixth Sense counts, I've never seen that either.
Huge
Yeah,
pack.
That is
that's
a definite
huge
blow
pack.
up.
Wait, now I have to ask. Wait, do you know the ending of The Sixth Sense?
Yeah,
Okay, then
the
never
quote
mind.
is known. The
Then
quote
never
is
mind. Don't see
Then
it. But still,
there's no
huge
point
pack.
Yeah.
in it.
I'm not sure which of those three is the biggest.
Shawshank
Yeah,
and
probably
Pulp.
Pulp Fiction is the biggest.
Shawshank. Dude,
Pulp
Shawshank
Fiction-
might be
Pulp-
one of the
Pulp-
10 best movies of all time.
I
It
actually think
is.
Pulp is the bigger blow up because that's
Yeah.
known to be
Pulp-
the better
Pulp was,
film more openly.
Pulp was, Quentin Tarantino, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like his work too. Maybe I should watch it one day.
I used
Maybe.
Yeah,
to.
maybe.
Maybe?
Think about it.
Tonight.
Hold on.
Tonight,
Dude,
like right
Don't
now.
make any rash decisions. I think you should really think this through, though. You don't want to do anything hasty. I think, dude, you still have time. I mean, the movie's only been out for like over 20 years. Hell, dude.
Damn.
A monstrous pack up.
Wow.
All right, that actually makes me feel not so bad about Forrest Gump. But you dropping
welcome.
Pulp Fiction and Shawshank back to back,
You're welcome.
yeah, that made me feel better.
So, guys, we're
The-
going on 3 hours and 42 minutes on this
Good.
podcast.
Good.
Yeah,
Everyone can
Time
hold
flew
that.
by.
I contributed 20 minutes.
But at the end, contributed the fucking 2 biggest pack ups of the day. So
I think those are the notes we should pack up on.
yeah, I'm down. You want to fucking close this shit down, Whip?
All right. Well, this has been the 3rd episode of Consider the Following. I Hope you've enjoyed it. I hope I did a decent job as a host. Honestly, I don't think it's such a reward that winning one show would actually make you host the other. It's a lot of work, and I don't envy King Hippo. In fact, I kind of salute him for making things so seamless, and that goes for you too, Fly, to a lesser extent. And
much
that's
less.
about it.
Hippo did much better than me.
I agree, and much better than me too. Regardless, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you back next week.
Peace.